What's up, fight fans? We are back at it with another edition here at Round One Sports TV. I am always your host, Edwin, and where do all fights start? Round one. Well, we have an amazing show for you here today. We're going to be talking about this Keyshawn Davis situation and how De Los Santos and his team is thinking about suing Keyshawn Davis. We're going to be talking about the Junto Nagatoni Naoya Inoue situation. Also about Terrence Crawford and Saul Canelo Alvarez. What do you guys think about this fight and the upcoming fights that are coming up right around the corner? So we break down all that and more here at Round One Sports Talk. So stick in, stay tuned. If you haven't already, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. Like always, let's hop right into this episode. So we have a lot to break down here, right? With this situation. What's up, guys? How you guys doing? Thank you for tuning in. What's up, Armando? Uh, Look, right now it's being reported. Edwin De Los Santos just did an interview on Mill City, and where he was asked, Mill City, joked to the fact that, oh, you're out there living it up now, because you got a good little payday here due to the circumstances of what happened. And Edwin said, no, I haven't got paid yet. So the interview kept going for a little bit longer. And the other guy asked him again, so how much were you going to get paid for this? And, why was the fight canceled? And allegedly, Edwin De Los Santos said, the question was asked, was it because you guys couldn't reach terms on the dollar amount that they would give you if you would continue the fight and the dollar amount per pound? Okay. So he said that Keyshawn's team denied both. Like they weren't in agreement with what Edwin was asking for. So Edwin did ask for more money, and Edwin did ask for more money on the pound for pound for every pound he was over. And I guess Keyshawn wasn't willing to sacrifice that. Keyshawn said no to his terms. Because Edwin De Los Santos said it in the interview. He knew that what Keyshawn Davis was banking on was that he was going to be desperate and take the money. So he didn't prepare himself to fight a fight at 135, a weight drain Keyshawn version of Keyshawn Davis. He didn't prepare himself to do that. What he prepared himself was to fight at Keyshawn Davis hydrated at 139, 140. He was prepared to fight Edwin De Los Santos at that weight. And Edwin De Los Santos and his team recognized that. They recognized it. They said, wait a minute, you never even tried to make weight. Your whole plan wasn't to fight me at 135. You was gonna sacrifice the belt. It's like a chess match, right? You ever see that chess match where the guy sacrifices his queen? Guy's like, yo, you sacrifice your queen early, man. You're about to lose, and all of a sudden, checkmate. You lose. It was all a plan for Keyshawn Davis. But Edwin De Los Santos se la volvió. He saw what was going on. And Edwin said, well, if you're gonna beat me, well, then you're gonna have to make it worth it. I guess Keyshawn wasn't willing to do that. So when they're asking and saying that Edwin De Los Santos once again passed up on the opportunity at a world title, because it was offered to him allegedly again after the businessman failed to do business. See, when they say that Edwin De Los Santos is getting a world title fight, right? And that he isn't deserving, that he shouldn't get another title fight, right? That's hogwash. That's bullshit. Because let's not forget why Edwin De Los Santos, or how Edwin De Los Santos got here in the beginning. The reason why Edwin De Los Santos was in this fight, Keyshawn Davis cherry-picked him. Let's just remember that this is a cherry pick gone horribly wrong. Why isn't anybody talking about that? Keyshawn Davis sought out Edwin De Los Santos, saw he had 18, 19 months of inactivity, wasn't even on the rankings. He was an inactive fighter. And Keyshawn Davis thought he saw a wounded duck. And Edwin De Los Santos, he'll never do it. He'll come down, struggle, miss weight. I'll beat him. When they got word that Edwin De Los Santos was out there in Santo Domingo running them cliffs, smashing rocks with hammers, carrying 2 and 3 people out of a burning building. Edwin De Los Santos got on some Superman shit, and he pulled up to the fight. And I believe if we have a contract and a negotiation and you offer me a title fight, what is Edwin De Los Santos supposed to do? Say no? Was he going to say no? And then they pull out this bullshit-ass story that he should have never been in there in the first place. Well, then Keyshawn Davis should have never picked him. You need to ask Keyshawn Davis that question. Tank Davis should have never picked Lamont Roach. Why is he here? Same situation that these fighters are starting to think that they're bigger than boxing. Then they get caught up. And look what's going on now. Edwin De Los Santos made a contract with Keyshawn Davis. It's in the contract for the WBO at 135. And lo and behold, Keyshawn Davis picks a cherry pick, and this man pulled up on time, on weight. Keyshawn, they couldn't believe it. You think they didn't have people peeping Edwin De Los Santos' progress? From the moment he hit the hotel, fight week, they was like, oh shit, he's ready. Keyshawn, what you gonna do? Keyshawn was in fight weight. He was on time. As a matter of fact, I went doing a little digging around. Keyshawn made every weight. Leading into the fight, he was on schedule. He was on schedule to cut the right amount of weight to be on time for 135. I think they saw Edwin De Los Santos, and Keyshawn and them got cold feet at the altar. That's what I really think happened. And they said, we need to come up with a plan B, Keyshawn. Keyshawn, if you drain yourself right now, when you guys both hydrate, he might hydrate to be the stronger guy. Keyshawn, he's a big puncher. Shakur and them whispering in his ear. Shakur's like, yo, that man was sharp as hell. Every time I try to cross that threshold, he had that two-piece waiting for me. Right? They started thinking. They said, all right, don't say nothing. Nobody say nothing. This is Keyshawn Team speaking. Let him drain himself out. I'll miss weight, sacrifice the belt. Fuck the belt. Right? We'll go up to 140. We'll get another belt. I'm not going to be making this weight no more anyway. Right? I can make it right now. It's no problem to make this weight right now because I can squeeze myself to drain myself to make it. It's going to be tough, but I can make it. But I'm going to go up to 140 anyway. So let's sacrifice a belt. Let's give the fans a good night. And I'll come in stronger, bigger than Edwin De Los Santos. I'll knock him out. He'll never deny the fight, bro. He's not going to deny the fight, bro. We'll just throw him a couple more bucks. You know, bro, that dude is broke. I huddle, break. They might as well have strapped the bomb to themselves because that shit blew up. Boop! That idea went out the window when Edwin De Los Santos, Sam Lukowicz, all of them, they was all looking at him like this. They was looking at their guy. They said, I will take the fight under these conditions. We want this much per pound, and you need to pay us this much more. The ball's in your court, Keyshawn. Keyshawn threw him the ball. He grabbed it, threw it back. Keyshawn said no. He said, no, I'm not paying him all that money. All right. Deuces. And this false rumor about De Los Santos getting $1 amount and for his troubles, according to Mill City and Edwin De Los Santos himself, out of De Los Santos' mouth, he ain't received a penny. And they're threatening about suing right now. That's where we're at. De Los Santos and his team is threatening that if we don't start seeing some kind of payment, then we're going to take this to court. And for all the film and all the antics that the Davis brothers and everything, my man, you broke the contract. Not sure how you win that. Maybe if it wasn't worded, they feel they're not obligated to pay. You know, I'm not sure how that works, right? I know as far as like, you know, there's certain situations in life that are like unfortunate, right? Like, you know, you had no idea that Keyshawn was going to pull this kind of stunt and that you would have to end up coming out of the bag. Now, what they're doing is trying to recuperate their losses right now and then saying that they're going to throw him something his way. They got to like do the numbers, add everything up, how many popcorns they sold. I don't know, right? Or where the money comes from in that situation. And I guess they're like stalling, you know, of giving Edwin De Los Santos anything. Or what they typically are going to do is say, like, listen, we're going to wrap this up in one package. What we're going to do is we're going to offer Edwin De Los Santos another fight. We're going to pay him this much. And that's going to be up to Sam and them to determine whether or not, you know, because sometimes when you lost a bet, you lost a bet. First, pay me what you owe me. Then let's discuss further business. You know, I'm on the mindset where that shit, how am I going to trust you in another fight with you if you ain't paid me for this one? First, pay me for this. Show that you can pay. Give me my money. All right. Now what you talking? See, I'm not going to keep doing business with you. And the host, like, because of the dollar amount that you said out of your mouth, sound big. But bro, I ain't got $1 from you yet. Nah, you bad business. We can't go a step further. You know what I'm saying? So no, Carlos Kills. No, he did not get 400K. No, he did not. Jeffrey, what's up? Yep. Yo, we gonna go collect that money, bro. Listen, nah, but he has not been paid anything. Rumors have it they are threatening to sue. You can go check out the interview for yourself. And if you don't believe me, well, you can listen to the man himself, which is Edwin De Los Santos. and the interview was held on Mill City, and the video was dropped like an hour ago. I saw partial of the video. I'm gonna go back, check out some more of it. But that's what's going on. The bottom line is Edwin De Los Santos himself is saying he has not received a penny. And you see how all these storylines are. No, he got 400K. He was going to get 600K and Edwin saying that's not even true. That wasn't the dollar amount he was asking for. So that 400 and the 600 are all lies. Yeah. There was more money involved. There was way more money involved because there was the dollar amount for the 4 pounds. That was taxed onto that number too. So I believe the number was getting much higher than what was being reported. But I do know one thing for a fact. If there's anybody I can believe in this world throughout this whole scenario, at least is the guy that's supposed to be getting paid that was involved in the fight. So if you want to go to a source, I would always say, shit, go to the original source, right? Don't listen to all these media outlets and these guys trolling for clicks, views. You come here around One Sports Star, I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm gonna tell you the truth. And we can talk about it. I'm gonna drop the link in a minute. You guys want to get on? Let's hop on. We can talk a little bit of boxing for a couple minutes. Damn, I always do this, huh? It's 2:08. My daughter gets home at 2:45. I would have to go downstairs, get her settled in. I don't know if you guys could hang on like 6-7 minutes then, but that's at 2:45. But right now, if you guys want to talk about it, I'm gonna drop the link. You guys want to hop on, and we could talk this through. Another thing is, just before I drop the link, right? Is Saul Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford going to be fighting on Netflix? A free fight? Okay. Okay. I'm a little taken back. I'm like, ain't this supposed to be two paper? But boxing's starting to evolve. They're starting to learn, man. Stop charging us so much for these fights, and maybe we wouldn't have walked away. Maybe this pay-per-view shit is actually what killed boxing. I remember in the time where the worldwide in sports, ESPN, and we would see like the beginning of it, that ski guy going off the ski slope, and he was like, shh, and he got rocked. He was like, right, and that was like the beginning. And who was it? Howard Cosell and them, and Howard had the real good fucking weave on. You know what I'm saying? You know, it what's it called? The for men, I forget. Whatever those guys that have weaves, they call it something, a man something. And those were the good old days. And we used to watch the fights on free TV. And we were all tuned in for those fights. I remember all my uncles, my dad, they couldn't wait for the fights to go on, or they would all gather in somebody's house or go out to a bar. And, in this pay-per-view shit, even back then they wanted $25 a fight, and we were like, $25? Are you crazy? 25, that's crack prices, right? Like we were assaulted, and now it's like $100 for one main event, and the rest bullshit ass card. Turkey's coming back, bringing it down to the little 24. You seen just like in 1 month, it went from 24 to 29. They're already starting on their bullshit so fast. Like, and it's greed. What's the one thing that can kill anything? Greed. Had you not been greedy and left well enough alone, it would be prospering. But man's greed sometimes fucks a lot of things up, guys. And they keep charging us for every single teeny beeny fight. Then they try to use words like, no, it's not a pay-per-view. You just got to play for the streaming service. No, that's pay-per-view, bro. You might call it a different name, but do I got to pay for that? All right. No, it's a streaming platform of streaming of service of platform. $35.95. What the fuck are you talking like? And that's where I think greed has, now they're breaking everything down that they used to sell you in one package. They would sell you a package of Oreos for a rolls. Now you go to the supermarket, they're selling you the price of one roll in one package for the price of what you used to pay for the entire package. Pretty soon, those ice cream little limbes with the little red spoon? Pretty soon, they're going to sell you the limbe and the spoon is sold separately. The kid's going to be like, how do I eat it? The spoon costs $1 and it's this big, the same spoon. It'll probably be thinner plastic, cheaper material. The world is going up and getting crazy. Pretty soon, they're going to sell us a soda at a McDonald's. It's going to be everything so separate. You're going to have to buy the straw, the lid, the cup, the ice, and the soda. $35.95. Yo, man. And I think that's what really fucked a lot of shit up, bro. They started saying, well, instead of selling it all to them, why don't we break the bike up and sell them every individual part? We'll get more money that way. Greed, bro. Greed. Why don't we take the sport of boxing and add 1,000 freaking streaming services and we'll just call it streaming? And $85.95. And it's just getting sickening. So we need to go back to some of these places where there was a place where we can watch quality boxing. Pro Box, Box Lab, places like that, you can see decent fights. I mean, Pro Box is fucking gladiator school. That is gladiator school right there. There be some fights on Pro Box. Not sure if any of you guys tune in, but there be some pretty decent fights on Pro. Sometimes a little matchmaking, lopsided. It happens everywhere. Come on, right? But those guys, a Pro Box, it's like an audition. Pro Box is like, if I was to describe it, and no disrespect to Pro Box, I don't mean this in a disrespectful way. If anybody takes it that way, I don't mean it that way. But Pro Box is like the minor leagues in baseball. Like the minor leagues, right? It's like an audition. You go to Pro Box. If you could dominate there, make it out of Pro Box, and Boxland just got a champion, didn't they? They just got a world champion. So shouts out to them. And they brought him up. Who was the word? Yeah, I've been watching a lot of boxing. But my nurse is crazy. She walks up to the camera in my house and she talks to it because she thinks my wife is watching from her job. I just haven't had the heart to tell her that our cameras don't have audio. So she stands in front of the camera every day to tell her what she did. I did this. She's talking to the camera, like in the corner. I'm like, yo, dude, like, there's no audio in that. It's only picture. But every day I watch her talk to the camera. So I don't have the heart to tell her. You know what I mean? She's been doing it too long. You've been watching me this whole time? Yeah, well, there's been days I've been on a live. I'm not just gonna jump down and be like, hey, this. And then when she leaves, I forget to tell her. So it's funny as shit. Every day she stands in front of it before she leaves, breaks down what she heard her. It's I'm like, yo, but it's cool though. She's a great lady, man, and she's the best. $25 back in the day was like half the rent. What you mean $25 for a fight? Huh? Yo, yo. And like, like these things right here, I think that the fans and us, you know, I think that they could bring boxing back a long way. You know, if I think Floyd Mayweather fucked up the sport in a lot of ways. He made it seem like if you weren't fighting on pay-per-view, you were nothing. If you weren't undefeated, you were nothing. And that sent a powerful message to this next wave. The Javante Davises, the Teals, the Devin Haney's, the Ryan Garcias of the world. And a lot of people criticize that for messing up boxing. I agree. I'm a big advocate of when are we going to go back into time where it's more important of the men that and women you share the ring with, in both weight divisions, where you can look back and say, look, I fought this guy, this champion, this Hall of Famer, win, lose, or draw. So, I'm a big advocate of that. I think that uh, we shouldn't hold these guys to a standard that, oh, if you lose, you're done for. So, and I think we should always back our fighters, win, lose, or draw. Whoever your fighter is, and I mean this, whoever your fighter is, if they lose, go right to their Instagram and show them mad love. Go outside, do videos with a couple group, in a little group. Say, we still love you, whatever. Film it and put it on social media so that it can get back to that fighter. So that he sees, damn, because after a loss, a lot of these fighters, some of them fall into depression. There was my shot. There was my moment. I failed. I failed my family. I failed my country. And these fighters just, they want to crawl in a hole and just ball up into a ball. But they don't have the luxury to do that. They got to keep fighting. They got to keep chasing that dream. And there's nothing better than turning on my phone and seeing my social media popping off with a bunch of love and support. Not negative talk about what I could have did, what I did, memes of me getting knocked out or dropped or however I lost the fight. But love and support to show we still got you, champ. This is just a setback. We still got your back. And I believe that we should knock some of these things off of high expectation for these kids. If you're not undefeated, you're no one. Nah, nah. I thought Lomachenko that just retired, he was a great fighter. He was defeated. I think he was an amazing fighter. I like a lot of other fighters too as well. But does that make Loma any less than any? Get the fuck out of here, bro. Loma's a warrior, bro. Fucking gladiator. Yeah, he might have not fought everybody. Who gives two shit? And we need to stop that shit too. The obvious is the obvious when it happens. And if you were ducking, you were ducking. If the majority of you were. But there's life after ducking. What do you mean? You duck a person one time in your career? You're a phony the rest of your career? Loma ducked Devin at 19. But did that make Loma's career any less? Or what he've accomplished since that time? Then they went and relived that fight and actually fought. Just because you lose. Dubois lost to freaking Joy Joyce. Well, how's he looking right now? How's he looking? I don't think a law should define us. Anything can happen in a fight. We saw Naoya anyway, one of the greatest, that I think is one of the greatest, get dropped not once, but twice in 2 recent fights. Maybe not back to back, but close enough. Right? What do they say? It's not how you start, it's how you finish. It's not how you got knocked down, it's how you get up. These fighters go in there every day, they give it all. Any wrong punch, any fall, twisted movement, your knee can blow out. You could hit your head on the slam back on the back of the mat. You may never be the same. I heard a man once say, my friend turned pro and he only had 2 or 3 fights. But for all the sparring he did in the ring, he was already showing effects of the punches. Speech slur, not remembering. He didn't even start his career. Some of these guys have extensive amateur fights. And then some of these guys take sparring like fighting. Go around to multiple gyms and try to fight all the tough guys. Go ahead. Go ahead. These are things we got to learn. And sometimes people get backdoored. Bring a guy to the gym. Hey, yeah, this guy doesn't have that much experience. Don't worry, you'll be okay with him. He only got like 4 fights. Meanwhile, he's like a world champion somewhere in some far region of the corner of the world, straight killer with only 4 professional fights, and really hurts your guy. I've seen it happen all the time in gyms. Some of these coaches are real dirty dudes, bro. You got to protect your fighter. I think that's what they did in the case of Edwin De Los Santos. In this case, they thought of their fighter rather than the money. And even the money that they were promised still hasn't been paid. So let's drop it down. Let's drop it down. Let's drop this link down in the chat. Said everything I needed to say. You guys have any kind words, feel free to hop on. Here at Round One Sports Talk, I have built a safe environment where we can discuss boxing. I'm a bit of a conversationalist myself, so I enjoy a good conversation. I value all your opinions, and I'm not here to debate you, but if you want to debate, we could do that. But if this is how you feel, then simply state your claim and I will respect that. And if we want to continue talking, we can. But the the link is in the chat. Feel free if you guys have anything to talk about, anything you want to talk about Keyshawn Davis, upcoming fights, um this New York card. Man, this New York card right now, really got me going back and forth in my head, bro. I gotta tell you, it does. And even the morale fight I was breaking down too, I even went down all the way down there. And I was thinking about that situation itself. So yeah, hold on a second. Let me get this down because I'm gonna be pulling this up right here. I did the same thing. All right, good. Right on. There we go. Richard, what's up? Mexican boxing number 1. Let's go. It's Yo, that's just I believe some more clout chasing in the behalf of Teofimo Lopez. This announcement that, he's like looking towards the PBC side with Teofimo Lopez. And of course, we've all seen the messages, right? We've all seen the messages out there, little video, little shorts with Tio alluding to the fact Tio driving, eating some snacks, saying, I'm just going to leave it like that, a mystery or whatever the hell he said, right? This is Tio trying to get ahead of another situation. He should be a master at this, right? He's already getting slack for denying the Devin Haney fight, right? So, in order to spark fight fans' curiosity, he goes ahead and puts his name next to another boxing superstar, which is in Gervonta Tank Davis, which I believe is cloud chasing, right? Because for one, Tank Davis is, we all know, is in the works of fighting Lamont Roach again, so he couldn't be talking about fighting him now. That's obvious, right? So he would be hinting to the possibility of fighting the winner. So, Teal, do you have a crystal ball, Teal? Because if you don't, I have one, right? I'm going to tell you right now, Teal, how in the world can you say that after the Lamont Roach and Tank Davis fight, you're going to be fighting Tank Davis or trying to give the impression that you are so that later you can say, I never said that. I merely just put Tank Davis's name next to my name and you guys assumed it. That's what he's going to do. Right? Because how can you assume you're going to fight Tank Davis? What if Lamont Roach wins? What does your crystal ball say then? How many times have we seen these situations go left? Ryan, Devin Haney. They said that Devin Haney and Ryan were supposed to be fighting. What happened? And Tio, how many times has Tio been in a situation using the N-word, eating bananas, doing all this ridiculous shit, and every time Tio's in hot water with his mouth, what's he do? He announces the possibility of some mega fight. He went as far as saying Terrence Crawford, Jaron Boots Ennis, Brian Norman Jr., Subriel Matias, Devin Haney. Bro, I'll be here all night. Now, Tank Davis again. He did Tank Davis in the past. Let's relive Tank Davis. Yo, Tio, you full of shit, homeboy. And I don't rock with you. And I'm going to tell you something, y'all, right now. I'm going to be the one to say it. Round One Sports Talk TV. All right? When Bill Haney running around saying Tio's saying all this racist shit, Bill Haney was just on a podcast. And if you think I didn't see it, Bill Haney, because you was on some smaller channel, but I saw you talking shit about the Latin and the Latin community and all Latin men in general. That all Latin men are ruining boxing. And that we should be banned from boxing type shit. Bill Haney is on a stream disrespecting the entire Latin community and then justifying it by saying he likes our women. He goes, oh, all Latin men ain't shit. They fucking up boxing. They all pieces of shits, but they women's is hot. So you can't say when he turns around and try to say, I was just talking about Tio. No, you weren't. Why'd you bring our women into it? The second you said our women, You're involving the entire Latin community now because you're no longer talking about Tio. Now you're talking about our women. And women is plural, meaning all women in the Latin. As soon as you hopped off Tio, you said, fuck Latin people. That's, yo, hold up. If anybody knows what link that was to that video real quick, I know I could find it. I know I could find it, but it might take me a second. I don't want to just be sitting here looking at a screen while the fucking show is going on. I should have had some shit like that. I didn't think I was going to talk about Devin Haney's dad today, but it kind of led to that. And he's talking about how racist Tio was and all the racist shit that Tio said. Like, bro, because to be perfectly honest with you guys, I don't know, man. I guess that's a West Coast thing, the way they taking Tio saying all this shit. I guess it's a West Coast thing. I guess the brothers out on the West or Midwest or some shit, I guess they get offended by that. Out here on the East Coast, like New York, Pennsylvania, all us, New Jersey, Boston, we don't give two shits about what Tio said ever. We've never felt Tio's ever said anything wrong. Nothing. I haven't been in a barbershop out here that they feel like Tio said some real crazy shit. Every time they talk about Tio, they laugh. They're like, he's an idiot, bro. And they be like, because in out here on the East, we used to everybody saying it. And he's Latin and shit. He looked close enough at Puerto Rican. He can get by one. If they was to hear him saying in public, they'd walk right by him. It's nothing. Bro, we've been called worse. We've been called every name in the book. And it's just like, we don't get offended over that shit. You know, if one person got offended, then let him smack him. But the rest of us is going to move around it. That's not important. He ain't said anything to us on the East side, I bet. I bet there's a lot of people that feel like that with me on this side. But the West Coast, I noticed those brothers are different. They take shit a bit different, but you got to respect it. You got to respect it. You know, everybody's, opinions are their opinions. And just because we might view it different doesn't mean what he's doing is wrong or minimizing what he's saying. Nah. Nah, if you feel like, I'm sorry, you guys were offended. If you offended, let them know. Fucking get up there, fuck you, Tio. You know what I'm saying? Let them know. you know? Um, but yeah, it really never bothered me. That doesn't make me a bad person. I didn't say none of this shit Tio said. I'm just saying, like, nah, I hear that shit all the time, bro. We hear worse in schoolyards. Fucking 6, 7-year-olds in school. You ever hear those kids talking to each other? Oh my God, they're terrible. I gotta go downstairs and grab my daughter. Give me 10 minutes. Nah, not even that. Couple minutes. I'll be right up. And we're back at it again. Woohoo! I think that was record breaking time right there. Oh. Whew. Well, Matias lost to Paro in PR. Yeah, well, everybody has a bad night. You could have a bad day in the office. And you ever have that fight, right? It doesn't even have to be in the ring, guys. Just a regular fight in, I don't know, anywhere. But you ever have a good fight and you saw what you were capable of doing and you just beat down this dude or whatever, right? But your next fight, all of a sudden, you're throwing your punches and it literally feels like somebody's grabbing your arm and slowing your punch. You're just like, you're not getting that. It's your punch is not moving. And you're like, what the fuck is like? You remember when you were, you were feeling good in that last one and your hands felt faster. Sometimes you could be having a energy dump at the wrong time in the fight. Things might not be going your way. Self-doubt, self-confidence, him punching you in the face. uh, a lot of things can go wrong for you very fast in a fight. And the one thing I always say is stay on your own side in here, in your mind. Don't be against yourself. Don't build your opponent tougher than what he is. Don't think for him. Meaning, you know, this guy stepped in front of you. He's bald headed, head full of tattoos or whatever. He's got his biker jacket on, his freaking gang member affiliated sticker right here, right? Whatever they got. I'm just trying to build a tough guy for you. And he could be real big and whatever. If you're not on your side in the fight, he has half the fight won. Don't think for him. Don't say, oh shit, he looks tough. Oh shit, he looks strong. Oh shit, I bet if he hits me, he's gonna knock my head off my. Don't do that. Your punches might not move as you're doubting yourself. You're already scared. There's some people that can turn fear into like rage, like that, right? But not everybody can do that. And you got to be focused. Just think of what you can do. And don't get lost in what you're doing. Meaning, just because you hit him twice and he hasn't gone anywhere, you're like, pow, pow, and he's like, ah, don't panic. Don't panic. Say, I got some Sugar Ray Leonard right here and some Muhammad Ali right here. You want some more? I got some more right here for you. Don't panic. Don't think for him. Don't think you're going to get tired because you're going to get tired. Okay? Don't hyperventilate. Calm. Even if he hits you hard, don't be like, pow, and lose it. Don't. Calm. Your moment will come. I guarantee it. It's going to come. Because he's going to be exuding all his energy. He's going to be thinking, oh, I got this guy beat. He's going to be throwing hard and strong. Some point, you're going to see his expression change. Trust me, it happens all the time. His expression, he's going to take a deep breath. You're going to see it. He's going to go, he no longer wants to be in the fight. Even if he was winning the fight, you see they do that stutter step backwards. Like Like they're going to act like they won the fight and walk away. The fight's just getting started. You ain't going nowhere. I didn't take them punches to the body, face, and everything for you to decide you were done because you were tired. Oh, that's not going to happen. I'm going to give you what you came for. And that's where like, you know, you cannot allow fear. Confidence is something that I think a lot of people in life underestimate. Just confidence itself. You don't got to throw a single fucking punch. Trust me when I tell you. You walk in a room with confidence, your aura, it changes. Don't say less. Be a little mysterious. I've always done that when I was younger and shit. I didn't go in there being like the guy that's, hey. I'll turn into him later. But you act a little mysterious, hand in the pocket like this, chilling. Women are going to be curious. They're going to pull up to you. Trust me, it happens all the time. Right? So back then, I'm married now. Not now. I don't do that shit now, okay? I haven't did that for years, all right? About 15 years to be exact. Right? So like, no, but I'm serious. I'm serious. Confidence is something that you have to learn how to keep yourself always, like, don't doubt yourself. Self-doubt leads to something leads to something else, and before you know it in the fight, you might be in quicksand and he fucked you up, bro. You don't want no more. You know? It's a bad place to be in a fight. It's a really bad place to be at. Me losing a fight here and there taught me that, because one time I got into a fight, right? And I lost the fight because I didn't throw any punches. Because the reason why I didn't throw any punches, because I was surrounded. I was by myself, bro. I threw a couple punches here and there. But I couldn't win the fight. I remember that day. There was no, if I would have started winning that fight, they was gonna jump me, man. I was done. Oh, they got me good. They did. Right? But surprisingly, I walked out of there pretty decent. Like I had a little knot like right there. I had like one right here and shit. But for the most part, the way I handled myself, I remember that. The reason why I brought that because I was confident. Bro, I was like blocking some of the shots and I was looking over at the dudes and I was pushing them off. And I was like, that's all right. And he bowed, type shit. And, there was a couple other things happening in the fight I'm not going to talk about. But so I'll switch up some of the events because, and I managed to walk off, but I had them dudes at a stalemate. And when I'm talking about it, so I'm not like talking 3, 4 dudes. There was at least 9 of them, at least. And I was like, fuck, bro. They had me, but I was confident. I kept them dudes at a stalemate. I didn't run nothing. Them dudes followed me halfway down the street while I was walking, but they didn't jump me. They didn't try to nah. My confidence was through the roof. I was talking shit, but that's where the important lessons in my life that I learned that when you're in a tight situation, believe in yourself. That's the moral of the story that I'm breaking down. When we talk about boxing and we talk about a lot of these situations, sometimes I see that fans quickly go right to the event, the fight, and they don't understand the process. The training, everything else, what gets you there. these guys are actually getting punched in the face. Like we're talking like, nah, he should get in there and do this. And I'm like, whoa. Like, have you ever been in a fight before? Like you've gotten your nose broken before. You know what that feels like. Like, and like, we got to give credit where credit's due, man. You know, and 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 in the case of Keyshawn Davis, I think he lost some of his confidence, and his aura definitely took a hit when another guy is coming out telling another champion that he was just recently champion, no, I won't fight Raymond Morataya because he has a belt. Why would I want to pay extra sanctioning fees, right? Which that don't make no sense to what you were campaigning just a few months ago, talking about you want to unify. Now, okay, a fighter can have a change of heart. There's nothing wrong with that, right? It's just that's not championship like behavior. Telling another champion to vacate their belt and you'll fight them because why? Your belt is more important? Or were you preparing to talk about a situation because you were no longer going to be champion, but you still wasn't going to fight Raymond Morataya? It kind of reminded me of Teofimo Lopez a few years back when he should have fought Arnold Barboza. I won't fight Arnold Barboza because Arnold Barboza is this, that. And we were like, no. Teo, no, we want to see that fight. And Teo skated from Arnold Barboza. Then he finally fought him. A few years later, add some years onto him, right? So, Keyshawn Davis, he took a big hit. But, just like I want to remind you guys, what Keyshawn Davis actually did is nothing on the grand scheme of things. That's happened in boxing? Come on, bro. That ain't nothing. That ain't shit. I saw Mike Tyson bite off Evander Holyfield's ear in the ring and spit it back at him. What happened to Mike? He got the next fight. He got the next fight. It was even bigger than that one. What? Come on, man. This is not nowhere near the biggest shit I seen in boxing, bro. I seen dudes after the fight punch the other dude in the face. He got a fight after that, didn't he? I seen full-scale brawls at the weigh-in. I've seen scales in the crowd from the corners. I seen a dude's mother jump in the ring with a fucking high heel and smack the other dude in the head and gave him a laceration on his head with her high heel. I seen some shit. I seen people get trampled in buildings after a small boxing event, like lives were taken. And this happens, and you think what? All of a sudden, Keyshawn Davis is over with. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Get out of here. It looks bad in the moment. Yeah, cool. It looks bad in the moment. But as far as Keyshawn Davis' career, no, this is not the worst thing I've ever seen in boxing. Not even close. Name me one thing where you've seen an actual man bite off a body part from another man and spit it back to him that it's worse than that. Get the hell out of here. Keyshawn Davis is going to be fine. He's going to be fine. What's up, Chicago Kills?
What's up, G? What's up? Shit, man. Just over here chilling, king killing. That's what
Yeah,
we do.
man.
Hey, what you talking about, man? You talking about beating up people? I got a story.
No. We're not going there. I was talking about
Damn.
confidence, brother.
I'm gonna tell you a
Confidence.
good story. I beat up a bunch of cheeks.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. That's okay.
Beat
We're
up a
not
bunch
doing
of
that.
anyways. No, yeah,
You're a sucker. Shut up.
nah, I swear, bro. Nah, I would man, it's a badass story. I'm a bad motherfucker though. Nah, but man, what we talking about? Keyshawn Davis again?
Yeah, just anything you really want to talk about too. The Keyshawn Davis situation where De Los Santos saying that he never received a penny.
Oh man,
He
that's
was on Mill
bogus.
City saying that he still has not received any money from the situation and that they're
Well,
threatening to sue.
well, that's kind of what we were talking about the other day. Who's gonna pay him the 400K? Was it Davis? Was it Sam Swickowitz? Was it the who was gonna pay that 400? Who told him he was gonna get 400? You know what I mean? I mean, there's a lot of loose ends. Was it just a hearsay, he said, she said type thing? Was it on paper? Where's the proof?
Yeah.
Could have been just hey, we'll give you this,
Yo,
but
that Riddick Bowe situation when he punched him, that was a good one too. Like, there's just been too many situations in boxing. I was talking to the chat just before you pulled in. Sorry for
yes,
cutting you off there.
that's all good.
Um, but yeah, like I'm saying, like some people are frowning on what Keyshawn and allegedly his brothers did, which I didn't really see his brothers do too much either. Um, but all in all, nah, that is not the worst thing I've ever seen in boxing take place. One of the most despicable things, in fact, never happened in the ring, but had a part to do with boxing. Max Callahan's brother was killed by a boxer that
Oh,
he
I know that
actually
story.
interviewed in a ring one time. So that was a
Punch dude.
despicable act, a really despicable act. And these are some of the stories that are, and it's totally different to Keyshawn's. And I'm not comparing it. I'm just saying bigger things, just in
No,
general.
yeah,
You know,
Max Kellerman's brother was a good guy. He let dude live in his house, and the
yeah,
dude killed him with a hammer.
yeah. I know yeah, I know about.
I'm
It
like,
was a
what the
brutal,
hell?
brutal attack.
Crazy.
I'm even sorry for bringing it up,
Yeah,
but
it's kind of disgusting.
yeah, he's a fucking disgusting human being. But
But,
anyway,
but look, bro.
I just
Yeah.
see that there were a lot of big things that boxers did, or did drugs, test positive for PEs and cocaine, and
Mhm.
doing lines of prostitutes, buttocks, and got
Beating
to
up
keep
their
pinching.
wives, beating up their
Yeah, of
wives,
course. Yeah, yeah. There's just
abuse,
so
domestic
much.
violence.
And I've seen in events and venues where things got out of control, out of hands with boxers that were not
Mm.
in the ring, but were there as fans and end up getting into fight either with fans or other boxers. I've seen that before in the past. So I believe a little bit of time will, pass. And I think that Keyshawn Davis will be back in action, and I don't know how many times I need to say this, but I will continue to say this. Thank God we are in a blood sport. All you got to do is bring the fans blood, excitement, and knockouts. They'll love you again. Fucking leading into the fight with Connor Ben and Chris Eubank Jr. Chris Eubank Jr. wasn't fucking revered or very liked out there in the UK, and neither was Connor Ben. He was a steroid cheat. And he fought to get it acquittal, but the damage was done to his name. Even if he got that, he beat it in court, which I understand what he's saying. No, how about the people that didn't hear the verdict that still believe you're a steroid cheat? Okay, so the damage to your name was done. Look how one night, two men's performances can captivate a country. And one guy that was deeply hated in some areas out there in the UK was celebrated and carried on their shoulders. Huh?
Yeah,
Just one fight.
I like Connor Ben.
One fight. You know what I'm saying? And both men Conor Ben, that steroid, that's a thing of a past. That's yesterday's news. Come here, my boy. You did great. Here, walk with the mayor or whoever it is in charge out there, right?
Well,
And
yeah,
Chris
man.
Eubank Jr. got his family name, bro. But that's what I'm telling you.
Yeah, you got to give people chances, second, third chances. That's what life's about.
The world is
Mhm.
built on second, third, fourth chances, bro. The world is built on people
But
like that, like
here's the
me and
thing, though,
you,
round one. Here's the
huh?
thing. If Conor Ben didn't fight his ass off and beat the shit out of Eubank, then there wouldn't be no talk of a second chance. There would have only been like, oh, he needed steroids. He's not the same
Right,
Conor Ben.
right.
So you have to show up and you got to show out and you got to fight. You got to fight your ass off.
That's why I repeat. I'm gonna go down saying this to the day I die. Thank God we are in a blood sport, where that you on your very next fight, if you bring them excitement, blood,
Mm.
or a knockout, a spectacular one too. On top of that, they will love you again. And I've seen it hundreds of times play out where the boxers um popularity took a dive because either they got knocked out their last fight or whatever, and they come out and give one of these fights for the one of those type fights 10, 15 years later, people turn around and say, where were you on that night? Were you at that fight? Huh?
Mm.
Did you see that fight? And we'll talk about, because those are the great ones. Where were you? Did you ever see that comeback with Diego Corrales and Castillo?
Oh yeah, that was
Did
great,
you ever
man.
see? Those are fights we talk about, my man.
That shit was great,
Yo, I'll never stop talking about that moment.
dude.
Bro, there
Yeah,
are a bunch of fights.
love that shit.
The fight itself will live on through the fucking ages, bro.
Hey, Corrales was Mexican, right?
Look, I don't care what he was. On that night,
He
those
looked
were
Puerto
two
Rican, but he's
fucking
really a Mexican.
warriors, bro.
Yeah,
Straight
yeah.
gladiators. You know what I'm saying?
Wow,
And let
wow.
me tell you
Yeah.
something right now. My everybody knows it. I've talked about this fight on my channel. Bro, I would have been that coach that would have thrown in the towel. I would have denied him his victory. Because I would have I would have looked at Diego's eye. The way it was closed, the way he came
Hmm.
staggering over there to the corner when he put his mouthpiece and he said, okay, kid, this is your last chance. You better do something here, kid. Right? Yo, at that moment, I would have been like, man, fuck that, bro. I'm going to look out for my fighter. Bro, you look like he just dropped you.
Mm.
And not even 6 seconds later, he drops you again. You come over to the corner like this. Give me my mouthpiece. He
Mm.
just bashed your mouthpiece out of your face. And
Yeah.
what makes me think you were going to come back? At
Well, that's
what
the way it
point,
was back. That's how it was
bro,
back
listen,
then.
Devin Haney's dad is they're criticizing him for not throwing in the title in Devin Haney fight, and he didn't suffer as much as Diego suffered in that fight, bro. I would have looked. I know I would have had
Mm.
love for Diego if I would have brought him up training, because he'd have been like a son to me, and I'd have been like, man, dog, we gotta pack this up, bro. I think I'd have threw that towel in, and lo and behold, he didn't throw the towel in. Diego went out there and whap, 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 whap. Yo, that was just crazy to watch, man.
The way Castillo looked when Corrales gave him that uppercut to the
Yo,
nose.
his eyes rolled back to the
Oh
back of
my
his head.
gosh, bro, I was scared for the dude. Hey, but you know what?
Yo,
That's a good segue because I was on the Marco Boxing Show talking my shit. And I didn't know the whole situation about Bill Haney talking shit about Latino men and saying he loves Latino women. But, Devin Haney's stock is dropped so low because of the way he fights.
yeah.
He got his ass whooped by Garcia. Maybe Garcia was on steroids,
Yo, what
but he still
did you?
got
Well,
whooped.
hold on. Can you back up 1 second?
Yeah.
Where was that interview on?
No, I was on Marco Boxing talking my shit about Devin. I didn't know about the information you just let out about Bill Haney
Oh,
talking
about
shit
Devin
about
Haney? Yeah, no,
Latinos.
I'm gonna go find that. I'm gonna go chop that shit up,
Yeah.
make a short. I'm throwing it right out for us. As soon as I get off this
But you
live,
know what, bro?
I'm
That is
hunting that down.
yeah, you should too, round one, to make a precedent. because everybody gets on Latinos if they say something about black people or whatever, but nobody ever jumps on, African Americans if they talk shit about Latinos or about white people. And that's a double standard and that needs to be fixed. And Latinos, whether you're Puerto Rican, Dominican, Mexican, Cuban, we're all Latinos, we all speak Spanish, we all got that culture, right? And we make boxing interesting because especially Mexicans, we fight with our heart. We don't quit. We make weight. We don't talk shit, and we make money. And boxing needs the Latino fighter to go up against the African American fighter. That's what makes money.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right about that. Um, there's a fine line sometimes, and I choose to stand on at least one side of this whole thing, where that my side is basically I'll pick both sides. One day I'll tell you about the pros and cons of one guy. Next days I'll tell you the bad things about him or whatever. To kind of sound like I'm flip flopping because I'm the kind of guy that thinks sometimes in my head. You guys all know how I talk.
Mm,
Sometimes I should like break it down and let you guys know that most of the times I report these things is basically having a conversation with you, throwing out this information, seeing what you guys think about it. I'm usually waiting for your feedback on situations that go this way, that way, shit like that. So I just wanted to get that out there. As far as like, you know, um, Chicago, look,
mm,
some of these fights sell themselves. Some of these fights need a little bit of help. I want to ask you right now, since I have you here just before you leave, because we did talk about this the other day. What do you think are your predictions on the Edgar Berlanga card, right? Uh Give me I want to know who you wins in Edgar Berlanga. I want to know who wins in Subriel Matias, and I want to know who wins and Shakur Stevenson fight with William
mm.
Cepeda, because
Okay,
this is going to open the door to a new topic and conversation right now
got you.
after you answer this.
Okay, so first with Belanga and Sherez, I got Berlanga. I got Berlanga. I think that I think the power. You got power. That's one hit could end it all. Or
Right.
maybe a couple hits, the other fighter might get scared to throw his punches. It might get him off his game. So he'll be a little hesitant. I got Berlanga. I like Berlanga. I like Berlanga's style. I like his I don't give a fuck attitude. We need that. Boxing needs that so bad right now.
Mm.
So I'm going for Berlanga. I think he could do it. I think he could get the knockout. I think he needs to train hard and get his mind focused. And if he comes into the fight trained, focused, ready to kill, then he'll get it done.
What about
Um,
Matias and Alberto Puello?
Yeah, I like Matias. He killed somebody in the ring. He ain't no joke. He ain't no joke at all. He stops everybody. They quit. No mas, no mas. He doesn't. He's not the typical Puerto Rican where he's gonna take the Puerto Rican knee. He's a warrior. He's gonna fight to the death. I like Matias, but Puello ain't no joke. Puello's dangerous. He got skill. He got heart. He got power. He's good, but I think I'm leaning a little bit more toward Matias because Matias got that one death in the ring, and he got that devastating, fucking thumping power like a Trinidad. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And then as far as Shakur and Zepeda, I'm gonna have to go with my Mexican, right? I like Shakur. It's just that I don't think Shakur's gonna be able to keep him off because Shakur don't got no power. And Zepeda could take a punch. He fought Tevin Farmer. Tevin Farmer. Tevin Farmer has better twitch muscle than Shakur. He got better angles. He got more power. And Zepeda took it and just kept coming. Um, I think that fight's gonna go 12 rounds. I think decisions are better because I think the judges, the promoters, and even the boxing fans are tired of Devin and Shakur and the way they fight and the way they're winning these fights. I think they want to just kind of take the belt away from them, give it to somebody who's going to come in and put it all on the line. And I think they're leaning more toward that right now than, wanting the same type of fighter that Shakur and Devin are. I think they're leaning away from that and going more toward the Latino, leave it all on the line, blood and guts type fight.
Mm. I like everything you had to say. I don't agree with everything you had to say, but that's not what is important. What's important is uh, people that have the same opinion as you got to hear you say that opinion, and for those that agree with you, it lets them know that they're not the only ones that think that way. As far as me with Berlanga, I'm gonna ride with the Puerto Rican, not just because he's Puerto Rican. I think Hamza Shari, legitimate, is moving up from another weight division. He hasn't fought anybody like Edgar Berlanga that is a natural in this weight division. We all know how that can go terribly wrong. What's up, frontline?
What's up, Bobby?
I knew as soon as we started talking about Berlanga, he was gonna jump up. So I said to
I
myself,
got. Hey, I gotta ask you a question real quick. What the fuck is the Puerto Rican knee?
Hey, man.
I
Where the
don't know where
fuck?
that
Where the
came.
fuck did
Everybody,
that come
hey,
from?
I ain't trying to talk shit, man. You know what I'm saying? But
You saying that he's not like
the,
any other boxer that takes the Puerto
yeah,
Rican? What the fuck is the Puerto Rican knee?
bro, the knee that Danny Garcia took, it's not just me. All the other podcasters and all these people, they all know the Puerto Rican knee.
Whoa! If Danny Garcia do it, name me one more that did it.
Um, let me see. You know
Because
what?
there's the
To be
Mexican
honest with
knee
you,
where
off the top of my head, I can't think of it.
There's the Mexican knee where Oscar De La Hoya took the knee against Bernal Hopkins where he got
Uh-huh.
hit in the body shot. Is that the Mexican knee?
But nobody, no Mexicans
Here we
aren't
go with the
known.
fucking
Mexicans
flower
aren't
shooter
known for
toy
that
shit.
though. Like Duran. Duran's not Mexican. What is Duran? He's from where?
He's Panamania?
Panamanian.
Panama. Panama. No
Yeah.
mas. Mexicans are not known for giving up, or Mexicans
So
are known
why are
for
you
I'm gonna
putting
die on
Duran
my
with
kids.
us?
So
Hey
wait,
man, I love Puerto Ricans, man.
you're
Don't
saying
kill me. We
because
all gotta stick together, brother.
nah, but you saying because Danny Swift took a knee against Lara, it
Yeah.
automatically becomes the Puerto Rican knee?
Well, you know what? Somebody else. There's some other stuff too, but
The knee melt champ, which is fucking Tank.
He took a knee.
I mean, shit, we can go at it with any fucking race.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but
It
Puerto
doesn't mean
Rican's
that.
taking a knee,
Yeah. I've never seen Subria go down in his career.
and for those
Ever.
that's you don't want that
No,
no.
he's here. He's here.
Oh, you
no, I don't want to
He's
be
here.
like, oh, this guy hates Puerto Ricans and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
nah,
yeah,
you
no, no, no,
good.
no, 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 no.
it's just
Is that
known. That's just known in the boxing world as the Puerto
it's
Rican
not
knee.
known.
I'm
It's not
Bobby, I
sorry.
just
known.
come here for clarification.
I'm sorry,
I
Rob
ain't
Boy.
never
That's
Man,
heard
it.
that in
sorry.
my life
Hey
until
man, we
you
got a
just said it.
big Puerto Rican community in Chicago. Big,
Okay.
huge Puerto Rican community. And man, the Puerto Ricans in Chicago, they ain't like the East Coast Puerto Ricans. These motherfuckers is mafia, straight from Puerto
Oh
Rican
Okay.
mafia,
my.
bro. These motherfuckers, there's history in Chicago about the Puerto Ricans in Humboldt Park, North Side. Um,
Okay.
and the Mexicans and Puerto Ricans are known for in Chicago is not getting along with each other.
Okay. You said everything but boxing. You
He's on
understand,
that
Chicago?
he's on that
Hello?
Walmart. He's on
Can you
Yeah,
that
hear
yeah.
me?
Walmart
You said
Wi-Fi.
everything but
Am I
boxing.
clear to you?
Yeah, yeah. You added all that other stuff. But anyway, I don't know where you got that saying, but you need to go back home to Chicago and just be like, that's hogwash. Because for every knee that any Latin man has ever taken, any Puerto Rican man, there's about 1,000 videos of their same countrymen taking knees in fights. I'm pretty sure you can find that anywhere.
Mm.
There's only two ways down. Either you take a knee or you go down completely. So that's
Well,
a
look,
bullshit
it's like
statement to
this.
even put on somebody.
Mexicans are known for being flat-footed. Black fighters are known for running away, and Puerto Ricans are known for taking the knee. And Cubans
No.
are
Get
known
the
for
fuck out of
amateur.
here with that bullshit.
Yo, Chicago, bro. That's
I'm
some fucking
serious.
crazy.
I'm not
Wait,
trying to
wait, wait,
be
wait,
the
wait, wait,
bad
wait.
guy.
Who's flat footed?
Mexicans. That's what they're known for. Flat-footed
Mexicans are
fucking.
flat footed.
That's what they're known for.
Bro,
Right or
you gotta
wrong?
find other sources for your boxing
Yo,
source
stop
because
talking
hold
to
on,
those people
Edwin,
immediately.
in the
I'm gonna
chat,
stop
he was
right now.
arguing with us. He
Im-
was arguing with us that
I'm not
Suriel
arguing
never
about nothing.
said no. I'm talking about
Mm.
in the chat earlier.
Oh
You
yeah,
were saying that
yeah.
Suriel never
Go ahead.
asked for a battle rematch.
Yeah, I
Bro,
never
what?
heard him say.
That's
Suriel,
all he wants.
that's all he fucking
That's
wants.
all he talks about.
I don't hear
He
him
never,
talk about
since the
that.
minute he lost Paro,
Papi, he
he's
said
been
it
on
after he beats
every
Puello. He wants
Puerto
to
Rican
give.
outlet. He even said, Subiel
Okay,
even said, I don't give a fuck if I win the belt. I'm
okay.
telling the world publicly, my next fight is Liam Paro.
Yeah,
I
he
All right,
want
said.
then that's
that
what's
back.
Yep.
up. That's
He,
cool. That's cool.
yeah,
I rock
we
with
don't
it. That's
sue.
what's
We
up.
don't
That's
do
what's
none of
up.
that shit. We get our shit back in blood.
Nah,
Nah,
my
bro.
every
We all
loss
Latinos. We
one
all got
time,
that Latino Taino
he got that
blood
back.
in
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
For
But you gotta
sure.
stop that bullshit. This is fucking Puerto Rican knee, and you ain't got
It's
no
not
goddamn
me.
evidence.
It's Ness. It's
Ness.
your boy Ness. It's your
Ness
boy
is a
Ness.
Dominican.
I know. Hey, what's the
You
thing
gonna take
between
that from
Puerto
him?
Ricans and hold on? What's the thing between Puerto Ricans and Dominicans? What's the beef? Y'all got beef?
No,
No, we ain't got beef. That's our sister
Oh,
island.
no. It's just listen to break that down in its most respectful form.
yeah.
Um, every everything that evolves from its original source will always beef with its original for existence. I don't know
Mm.
if you followed me on that or you
I
know
get
where
you.
I'm going with it.
Yeah.
Meaning, listen, we came from Spaniards, Taino, and shit like that. I don't want to get into a history lesson. Meaning, I can't go back home to Spain, where my original people came from, and say, I'm Spaniard. Nope. Get the fuck off the island, you Puerto Rican. Right? They don't like us. I don't know why. But it's the
Mm.
same thing if a black dude from New York City was to go to Africa and say, my people, African, they're gonna be, you ain't African, get the fuck out of here. Boop. They don't accept black Americans in Africa. They despise them. They don't like them. So it's just like every culture, the original will never like the thing that it evolved to.
The
It
hybrid.
always happens like that. It always breaks down. And we as people, as humans anyway, we really shouldn't care about this. We're all human and technically, but um Santo Domingo's not gonna like Haiti. Haiti's not gonna like Santo Domingo. Santo Domingo's not gonna like Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico's not gonna like Panamanian or whatever, or Cubans or
Well, it's like
Colombians.
Mexicans. If you call them anything else but Mexican, if you call them Honduran, if you call them
If you call
Guatemalan or
him
whatever,
Puerto Rican, it's offensive.
yes.
It's
Hey,
Yeah, but
Ryan
offensive.
didn't
Fraser, just to clear that up,
yeah.
I was talking about Dakota versus Marquez. I wasn't talking about Suriel when not Marquez, I'm sorry, Margarito. When Margarito got caught with the hand wraps,
Oh, yeah.
Cotto got that shit back in blood.
Yeah.
He didn't go sue.
Or
So
when Cotto got the knee and he was getting bludgeoned by a man with brick hands. That's
yeah.
why we got a knee. Oh, you could go fuck yourself.
Hey, the Mexicans were making fun of the Puerto Ricans, but then when it got
Oh yeah, we made
can
fun of you
y'all
guys
hear me?
too.
Is my
The
internet
second
fucked up
time.
again? Can y'all hear me? Is
Yeah.
my internet fucked up?
No, we can hear
Yo,
you.
you
Yeah.
got to get out of Walmart. Get out the layaway department.
Nah, shit, I'm in the crib right now. Nah, but then when everything came back as like, oh, he had plaster in his hands and shit like that. And then he lost the second fight. You was like, man, fuck Margarito.
Yeah.
Because we don't like cheaters, you know what I'm saying? And if we're
Yeah,
gonna win, we
definitely.
want to win
Def-
right.
no, but those are shots fired in competitive spirit. For as long as the other night, not the other night in Butte. I mean, it was a few months ago, but Frontline was with me. There was a Puerto Rican Mexican card, and we rocked the Mexicans on that night. We beat all of them.
That was Aztecas versus
Yes,
Taínos
it
versus
was.
Aztecas.
It was all poor PR versus Mexico, and we laughed on you guys that night too. We had a big old
Hey,
laugh.
but when it comes
We
down
were
to the
like,
big fights,
"Damn,
the
we
big
whooped the
names,
shit
yeah, the
out them
Mexicans
dudes."
be whooping the Puerto Ricans though.
No shit, but I'm just saying You had a laugh on our expense. We've
Yeah, and
had
y'all
laughs on
okay.
your expense.
That's
That's
what's up. Hey
common.
man, but I say, you know what? Let's all get together and let's go against the fucking black people. Because they think they're
No,
better
no,
than
no,
us,
no, no,
bro.
no. You're
They think
going
that
good.
they're
Don't fuck it
better.
up.
I
No,
don't want
no,
to be
no,
racist,
no,
but
no, no, no,
they
no,
think
no,
they're
no, no.
better
You're
than
going
us,
good. Don't fuck it up.
Ramon.
Listen,
They think they're
listen,
better than
brother,
us, so
brother,
they think
brother.
they can beat
It's
our ass.
no secret. Wait, Chicago. It's
Yeah.
no secret that me as a Latin man, Puerto Rican man, if my Puerto Rican brethren ain't fighting and there's a Mexico there, bro, I take my Mexico hat, I put it on, strap
Same
up,
with me.
back
Yeah.
in the Latino, right? If a
Yeah.
Dominican guy goes in there, he ain't fighting my guy. Well, then we rocking with him. Why? Because there's two less of us Latin fighters anyway. America is a big country and they got a lot of fighters, and there's a lot of other states. And now we're getting to the point where just maybe these smaller Latin countries can put enough people together where they can have enough to represent. But there was a time in boxing where Dominicans had nowhere to go. All
Yeah.
they had was us,
They
the
leaned
Puerto
on us.
Ricans. And we looked at our cousins and we're like, bro, fuck it, we gonna rock with you. Come on, man, get up, let's go. You guys can compete with us, you know? Because
Mm.
it was always Mexico, Puerto Rico, bro. It's time for some new flavor. It's time for some
Mm-hmm.
new, maybe Puerto Rico versus Japan, Puerto
Mm-hmm.
Rico and the Philippines, Puerto Rico and Russia. You know what I mean? Like, let's get it popping, right? But there's is I make no secret of this. I love every Latin country, every Latin fighter, and I wish you guys can all be champions. You know what I'm saying? But in only in a healthy competition, we can shit talk each other when we're going against each other,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah, yeah.
don't
Mm-hmm.
lose your way in just two men fighting and make it that personal. Remember
Mm-hmm.
how to back up from the situation. It's just a boxing match, just a little shit talking. Let's go back to everyday life. Don't make it
Yeah,
personal, us versus them. You know what I'm saying? Type shit, my
I
man.
feel you.
Because
I
now
feel
you
you.
start to view other people outside of boxing, and then you get lost. You don't remember where the hate build inside of your
You
heart.
know, let me just say this before I leave because my Wi-Fi is kind of fucking up. But you
Okay.
know, here in Chicago, it ain't like the East Coast where y'all is
No.
living with everybody. We ain't like that. So it's different. Me
Yeah.
coming from where I come from,
Yeah.
and when I talk, people think I'm racist. But it's just me coming from a Mexican neighborhood, and then there's Puerto Rican neighborhood, and then there's black neighborhood. You know, and that's all that really is. You know, I don't
I feel you. I feel
even though I
you.
got some Puerto
And
Rican
I
friends and some
understand
black
that
people
one
friends, it's
completely.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, but
Yeah.
Chicago, you should step out that comfort zone and
Oh, we
explore.
do.
'Cause
I
I'm
do.
in the same boat you on. I'm in Florida. Florida's the same shit. It's real segregated. You know what I'm saying? You got
Yeah.
the blacks in one section, you got the Cubans in another, you got the Dominicans in another. Bro, it shouldn't be that way. You know what I'm
Yo,
saying? We could.
Chicago,
Yeah, but it
Chicago,
works. In
Chicago,
Chicago, it works for
real
the
talk,
best.
Chicago, right?
Yeah.
You should try something new. You know what I'm saying? Maybe go to a P. Diddy party. I'm not sure. But listen,
He's locked up though.
listen,
See, he's locked up.
shit. Listen, anyway, but no. I just want to get a laugh out of you before I broke up the thing to tell you this. You're 100% right. You know, that's fucked
Yeah.
up that they treat your streets like a prison system. The blacks with the whites, the blacks with the blacks, the whites with the whites, the Latin with the Latin. It sounds like your neighborhood is structured for prison. In New York City, we have high rises that are 50, 75 floors, 125 floors. There are two buildings side by side each other. And inside those buildings, they can be anywhere between 10,000 people. Meaning, my grandmother lived in one of those buildings for 38 years, and she never met the lady that lived in the adjacent building from her. It's just too many people. It's too much. You would never know that that person lived in that other building. You got over 3,000 people outside every day just in front of you, moving in and out of the buildings. It's hard to keep track with anybody. But don't walk across the street if you don't know anybody. You see what I'm saying? Because we live on top of each other in New York City. We don't have breathing room. That's why there's You could see that in the morning, there's like a fucking street fight every day at 7 o'clock in the morning. A full-fledged street fight. And it just goes on and on for miles. I mean, one New York City block is probably the equivalent of most states or little small towns. The amount of people they would have in just one New York City block on 42nd Street with all those goddamn high rises. So we live on top of each other, you know. So, and then like in Chicago, when I lived a different life, we would, you know, people would go out to Chicago. I've never been in Chicago. People would go out to Chicago, and you guys were different. You guys were playing fucking block fucking parties where like snipers were in window pegging dudes off from like, you guys wouldn't confront your, you know, the people. And you guys killed each other. Like, they had you guys in a project where half the project was pointed identical to the rivaling team, and that project building was pointed at their side. It was like designed for you guys to fail.
Well, like, yeah, but you know, here, you know, in the projects, it was only black people, no Hispanics. The black people were in the high rises, and then they tore all. You ever heard of Caprini Green, Robert Taylor's, the Ickies? They tore all the high rises down, and all those African Americans got dispersed into all these other neighborhoods, suburbs. And
yeah, I understand all that,
but back in the day, like the Hispanics, like we got. In some areas, it's a block to block, different gangs. But then in some areas, there's whole neighborhoods that are one gang, whole hood.
Yeah, I just told you that.
But it's different.
They in Chicago.
You got alleys. You got alleys over there?
Of course.
No, we do not. No, we
in
do
New
not
York,
have
that's
alleys.
yes, you do.
No,
New
we
York
do
got
not
alleys.
have alleys. No, we do not have alleys. We do not have alleys. What we have are fucking alleys that lead to cities. Underground.
So you have alleys.
Yeah, they lead to a fucking
like, you know,
city.
The garbage doesn't go in the front over here. The garbage goes in the back in the alley.
No, we burn our garbage in New York because the garbage truck don't even show up.
What's wrong with you guys?
I don't know. But listen, and then on top of your situation, I told you that in the beginning.
Yeah.
It seems like your city, Chicago, has you guys segregated like a prison. Not sure if you've ever been there. I don't wish that on you.
No,
but you go there, you see the movies, the whites with the whites, the blacks with the blacks.
It's not like that in prison.
Right.
It's folks and people. So if you folks, you're with the folks, the GDs, the BDs. If you're people, you're with the Latin Kings, the Vice Lords.
All right, cool.
It's different.
Cool. But out in New York City, when I'm talking about we live on top of each other, it means that you're on this floor, you're gonna smell Jamaican food. Wait. You're on this floor, you're gonna smell Jamaican food. On this floor, you're gonna smell Chinese food. On this floor, you're gonna smell Vietnamese. On this floor, you're gonna smell fucking Peruvian. On this floor, you're gonna, you know, I don't know if we stopped calling them Habibis. I haven't been to New York in a long time, but we used to go downstairs. I don't mean to disrespect anybody, and we used to call, yo, Habibis, what y'all doing, right? And we would go outside and shit. There was so many different cultures that in New York City in front of you at any given time. This girl speaking French, she's speaking Russian, he's jive talking, he's speaking Latin, he's speaking Chinese, and we're not even 10 feet.
You got Mexicans? You got Mexicans over there?
Of course.
Okay.
Bro, y'all motherfuckers are everywhere.
Everywhere. Right? So fucking so in New York City, the race diversity is so much that it's, you know, and like you said, you know, if you're folk or Crips or whatever, you know, the gangs are all.
Now we don't got.
They
no
all got
Crips,
all
no
different kind of nationalities.
There is not one Crip, not one blood in Chicago. No Crips, no blood.
Nah, in New York City, there's an entire block with all bloods.
Yeah,
they wear the Boston B for bloods. If you wear a Boston hat in New York, that's for the bloods.
And the Latin Kings that are in New York, they came from Chicago because Latin Kings started in Chicago.
Yeah, I don't really give a fuck about the game fucking history lesson. I don't want to learn. I don't want to join.
What we do, baby. We gangbang in the city.
I don't want your decoder ring. No, I'm good.
Hey, man, I'm gonna jump off, man. Frontline, round
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
It's been
puppy.
a
Now,
blast.
hey,
I'm gonna
yo,
holler at you.
Chicago, real talk, man.
Yo,
It's always a pleasure you coming up. I love your insight. I love your passion. I like how you keep it real. You know what I'm saying?
for sure. Yeah.
Of course, I always want the best for you, so I'm always gonna give you the best advice. Listen, keep your head up there, keep your head on a swivel, and most importantly, stay alive. All right, brother.
Man, Joe, Chicago kills, baby. Let's
I
get
fucking
it.
love you, bro. All
All
right,
right. Holler.
all right, brother. One. Yo, man, Chicago, he's in that life.
Bro,
I
that's
remember,
that like I try to change a person like that. It's hard to change because he's so sunk in. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, but that was me
And
years ago.
no, no, I
He's
get it. And it's
yeah,
always your environment too. You know what I'm saying? Your environment, you're a product of
yeah,
your environment. You got to get away from that shit. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I saw that the neighborhoods and everything, like the cops had enough with my bullshit when they started coming around and just trying to start pinning anything on you. Like there was a crime down the street. They're knocking on my mom's door. Like, where's he at? Like, we know you did it. Like, what? Like, it got to the point where, um, street life wasn't fun anymore. I had dark days. And my wife that I'm with right now. I tell her sometimes, why didn't you just leave me where you found me? Just I probably would have been dead by now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should have just left me there. And she was just like, nah. She was like, you I've heard it a lot when I was a kid. I just never believed it. She was just like, I believe in you, Edwin. You're an amazing person and shit. And she cried to me that night and made that offer. She was like, I'll take the man rather than the money, the respect in the streets, all that shit. And she's like, if you can leave that, she was like, and I was like, all right, deal. Fucking 2 weeks out here in the woods. I was going crazy. Bro, I couldn't sleep without the ambulances going by or
But I bet you
I
feel
needed
a
that
hell of a lot
city.
better now.
Oh no, I'm 6 years here now. I have a different perception of how I view life. I have a different way of how I conduct myself. I like to smile a lot today. I love myself today. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was just a culture shock. I got homesick sometime. I would drive down to the inner cities and just get out my car in like the middle of the night and just like, because I thought that that's what I needed, chaos. I thought that that's what my life consists of. Unless we were going out every Saturday with the boys, getting in bar fights, doing our things all the week until we get to the end of it. Was just a recurring thing, and I really thought that that's what my life was about until I learned the different way. Now I'm all about, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, uh I, I'm filling up a book bag with juices and treats. Yeah, I'm a soccer dad. You know what I'm saying? Like,
It is what it is, though.
you know what I mean? Like, all the ladies in the park know me. They're like, Edwin, how you doing? I'm like, tell me the gossip, girls. Tell me the gossip. Yeah, like, because they know, like, I'm a stay home dad with my daughter. I raise my daughter. So they all get a kick out of it every time they see me and shit, But it's just, I hope we all grow up and can pull away from this fucking uh this thing that society has us locked in. And some of us never make it out of there. But anyway, yo, my man Chicago, he deep in it, man. But I always wish him the best about it. And it's always good to talk boxing with him and people like him, because it's the raw passion of the fight game and how fighting, it's much more than just, boxing and everything. We all do it around our walks of life. And if you ever wanted to defend yourself, we talk about situations like that and the boxing itself. I
Oh, I
think
wanted to tell you something
yeah,
too.
what's up?
You're a piece of shit for not telling the nurse that there's no audio.
Yo, listen, I can't tell her. I can't tell her. She already left, so now I can talk louder. Every day. She walks up to the camera. She's going like this, like she's talking to my wife. She's explaining everything she did, right? And I don't got the heart to tell her. She's been doing this for months. Hey,
Bro,
yo, I'm gonna go. Hey, yo, D, you do know that shit don't got no audio. She's gonna look at me because she knows I can see her. She, you know, as a matter of fact, I wonder if she knows I could see her. No, no, Dee's came in my room before. She saw them. I don't know if she saw it in the corner, that camera. And, because she's not in it while she's standing up here. But every day, all I see is the top of her forehead like this. She's going. So I walk downstairs and I'm hearing her explain what she's doing. I'm like, oh my God, there's no audio. Yeah,
that's fucked up. But funny as fuck at the same time.
I have a kick out of it every day. It's like clockwork.
Oh shit. Yo, did you see Super Dutch training? He's got a
No,
couple he's got a couple clips out there.
does he? Ah,
Yeah, I'll
yo,
send them
if
to
you
you.
can, yeah, send the clip, the links. Absolutely, I'm
Bro,
gonna check them
he's
out.
looking sharp. He's looking sharp.
Yeah, I gotta
Footwork,
see him.
all
I gotta
that
see him.
shit.
I gotta see him. I gotta see. I want to check him out. I want to check him out because, you know, uh, I I have a lot of questions for this fight. Yo, between me and you, frontline, we both Puerto Rican, man. We know this is not an easy fight. We know
No,
it.
bro,
We know it.
we said it before.
Yeah.
It's a
It's
fifth.
a fucking 50-50,
Even
baby.
the bookies having a 50-50 fight.
Yo, that
You know what I'm
Dominican
saying?
dude is fucking tough. And I just want to see if the guys that he fought at the time, Alberto Puello, that he was dropping, were a little bit less of a foe or a little bit less of a man than the
But
top men that
here's
can
the
take
question.
big punches.
The question's gonna fall. We all know Puello's a boxer. He's a slick boxer, right? We know Matias is a brawler that applies pressure. The question is gonna fall. We know that Puello knows how to get out of the way at times. He knows how to pivot and get out of quote unquote danger. Now, that being said, everybody's comparing Gary Antoine Russell's pressure to Subriel.
No,
It's a
two
totally
different
different
pressures.
correct.
Two
Now,
different pressures.
and not to mention Subriel knows how to cut the ring off. So I would like to see how Puello will react or how would he confront the monster in front of him where he ain't got nowhere to go. He can't go left, he can't go right. Only thing he could do is come forward and then get out the way.
Right.
That's what I want to see. How is he going to react to
How
that?
is he going to respond? Well, before I give my breakdown on Alberto Puello on the other side, because I'll play the other side for a second, because you just played Sabria's side. Guys, don't forget to hit these like. We need 10 more likes. Can we get 10 more likes? All right, can you guys smash these likes for me? All right. Well, as far as Alberto Puello, I like Alberto Puello's foot placement. I like how he can fight going backwards. With Subriel's pressure, he's gonna need that. He's gonna have to sneak some of these shots on the inside, and I'm not necessarily on the line where he has to hit Subriel hard to give him something to back Subriel up or respect him, because I don't think you got a fucking aluminum bat on hand, so you can cut that notion right there out. I think what it's going to have to do or have to be is an accumulation of punches. Okay. He's going to have to be patient. He's going to have to weather a little bit of the storm. And I think as long as Puello can put his hands together and he can keep his feet moving, most importantly, don't let Subriel trap you in a corner or against the rope. As soon as your back touches the rope, Alberto Puello got to move. He can't let Subriel cut the ring off because Subriel will sidestep him and trap him, pin him in a corner, and he'll only get one or two shots off. And sometimes he won't get, all the punches he wants. But those one or two were important because believe it or not, that one or two that he got it would get on him it's going to fucking bother him. So he's got to avoid situations like that, Alberto Puello. If he can do that, sustain this, he can walk all out of there with his belt, you know. And like you said about Subriel Matias, Subriel Matias is a type of fighter that he's going to really batter and bludgeon his opponent. He's not looking for a one punch knockout. Sometimes he forgets about his jab; it becomes non-existent, and he locks in on going forward. Some of Sabriel's strategy, which a lot of people don't understand, is that he allows the guy to smack him all on the side of his heads while he's going forward. And the reason why he does this is to give the guy confidence to open up so that he can land those punishing punches to his opponent. When Subriel punches the hardest, I want you to pay attention to this. The shots that Alberto Puello needs to avoid is not when Subriel lifts up his elbow. When he punches like this or his elbow's up like that and he's already hitting like that, you can take those punches from Subriel. The most dangerous punch from Subriel comes from his hip. It comes from right here. It comes from right here. He has it like this and he slaps it like that.
It's the George Foreman punches.
Yo, that shit, don't let him hit you with those shots. If you can stay away from those shots, you got a chance. Don't let him hit you from his hip and he turns it like that. When Sobrea goes like this, pop, pop. I've been playing his fights over and over and over. And I've been studying him. And those are the shots. When he hit Pedro Ananya, where'd he hit him from? From right here. Boop! And he went. When he hit
Dukembayev. When he hit Dukembayev.
from here. From here. But when he picks up his hands and he's hitting like this, it seems like the guys are not too bothered. So though that's his deadly punch right there.
Yeah, but those punches you talk about from when he got his elbows up, those are his measuring sticks. That's when he's trying to measure you.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah, yeah.
he's trying to work his way in to throw his little thumping shot.
Which means to my point, Frontline, those are the ones you can get hit with. Like
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, those are not the ones you should be worried about. Don't let them get into that firing off zone. Wherever it is, the distance, wherever angled, wherever style you fight, whichever position you're in, the first time you see or notice that he got to you with one of those shots, or even if it was close, remember where you were. Remember what you did so that you can edge back a little more or be there, because that was the distance that he caught you with. Anything further than that, he's going to overextend.
And I also want to remind people, they keep saying, oh, he lost to Paro. He lost to Paro. Let you guys keep thinking that, because every fighter, every single fighter on his 22 fights that he's got, every single fighter has not, win or lose, has not been the same after fighting with Matias.
And you want to know something? For Subriel Matias is 2 loss, just like Saul Canelo Alvarez. Interesting enough, Subriel Matias has never been knocked down. Ever. The standing 8 count was exactly that. He was standing. When the referee felt like he needed to aid Subriel or he was going to get hurt, and he gave him standing 8 count. So I get it. Subriel Matias gets hit a lot. He's been stunned before. He's been wobbled. I seen him go to the rope, but he's never been down. He's never been down. And ironically, ever since Alberto Puello moved up, he hasn't really been getting those stoppages. Is it just me?
Bro, ever since he's moved up,
he hasn't been.
Bro, he's been getting nothing but SDs or MDs, split decision or majority decision.
Right. That means that any of those guys could have beaten him.
Correct.
So my thing is this. Let's ask the real questions here. Name me one guy Gary Antoine Russell beat that can beat Subriel Matias.
I would have to go look at his resume.
All right.
Hold on.
Look up at his
But
resume. Hold on a second. Let's pull it up. We'll do that. I'll do that right now. I ain't got nothing better to do but to check this out. I'm gonna tell you right now, Gary Antoine Russell. Let's go up to the man. He should be right around. Whoa.
all right. So his last fight was Valenzuela.
Yeah.
He won by UD. I
I
think
think.
Subriel beats Valenzuela. Then he fought Puello. Lost to Puello, which we're gonna find out July 12th what he's about. We got Kent Cruz. Subriel destroys Kent Cruz, unfortunately. Unfortunately. Then we got the Dominican dude, Bartholomew. Bartholomew actually was giving Puello a tough fight for what it lasted. And I would say Subriel will beat him too. Um, Postol, Victor Postol, I uh I think he'll beat him too. Knockout. Giovanni, don't know much about him, so I can't say anything about him. Marufo, again, another one I don't know much about, so I can't say. But I would assume, yes, he'll beat him. Juan Huertas, don't know nothing about him. And the rest of the guys, I can go on and on. I don't know much about them. So I can't sit here and say anything outside of I would say he'll beat him. Now you know more people, more boxers than I do, obviously. So you might have a little bit of input. But from what I saw, maybe his last 5 fights, I see Subriel being the last 5 fights he had. Now,
Yeah. Yeah. Give me 1 second. Yo. That's my point exactly. I don't think. Oh my God. Hold on a second. That was my point exactly. Right. That when we think about Gary Antoine Russell and we think about all the fighters, like I think that Alberto Puello got a better resume than them all. I think Alberto Puello.
I pull up
Uh,
his resume. It doesn't look that convincing either.
I think Alberto Puello got the best resume out of all the fucking
140
the,
pounders.
well the contenders, not the champions. I should be more specific about this. I don't think I'm when I'm talking about these situations, I'm thinking about like from the number one all the way guy down slots. We already know that these guys are kind of like champions and shit. And what did they fight? Who did they fight throughout? Coming up the divisions, right? So in reference to Gary Antoine Russell, I really don't think that his competition was that great. When I think back to Alberto Puello, he's got some memorable names, but Sandro Martin, never a world champion. Um, a lot of these, Gary Antoine also went on to be world champion after he beat him. Um, but Subriel fought a lot of the top guys. He fought Ponce for the title, for the vacant title, IBF title. Then he went on to defend the belt, and rightfully so. I think he fought some strong competition. Although at the end, his last two fights, Subriel's last two fights, haven't really been all that. That Mexican cop dude there and that other fight in Puerto Rico, those guys, they were tough men, but they weren't really like the top echelon of like great competition. So thinking about that, Gary Antoine Russell for Jose Valenzuela. Jose Valenzuela was, um, you know, I, it's
Oh,
hard to judge some of these situations because some of these situations are suspect, right?
I
Jose
didn't.
Valenzuela only had one fight at 140 with
Right.
Esau Pitbull Cruz. How can we talk about him being like a true 140 pounder and comparing him to all the 140 pounders where he had no history there? So when Gary Antoine Russell beats Jose Valenzuela, do I give him 100% credit for beating a guy that just only had one fight in the division?
And Richard
Versus,
brought up a good point, Subriel. A lot of people say that he gets hit a lot. If you really, really watch those fights, bro, he blocks a lot of those punches. A lot of them. A lot of them hit the gloves.
yeah, sometimes he gets sloppy and he gets hit with some good shots, and the guys can, but you have to understand what Subriel understands. If you're punching me in my face, you're in range. If you're hitting my gloves, and if a punch happens to get in, and you threw another combination in his head, you're standing in front of me. You can't hit me from the other side of the ring. So I'd rather walk close once I start feeling those shots come. I, you're right. You're right there. If I fear 1-2 and I peek and you're gone, you sidestepped out. Okay, I gotta stalk you again. 1, 2, 3. He's getting comfortable. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's mine.
Yep.
You're getting greedy now. You see? And some people don't see his fighting as a tactic. They don't see the art in Subriel's fighting style because they think that boxing has to look a certain way. And they're no longer seeing multiple styles and what makes their styles effectable. You see? And then, these guys nowadays, they get on YouTube and they say styles make fights, but they have no idea what that means.
Right. That's why the triangle theory never works.
They don't know how to break down styles make fights. Okay, then describe his styles, his pros, his cons, what's effective, and does he do that same style every time?
You know what it is though, Edwin? It's these new casuals that
Yeah.
feel that every fight has to end in a knockout or they're boring.
Or the fighter has to look a certain way.
Right.
You got to
For an
look like
example,
Sugar Ray Leonard. If you don't look like that, you ain't shit.
my
And I
my whole
believe that's
thing
wrong.
is a lot of people. I personally don't like him, but I got to give him credit where it's due. For an example, Devin Haney. We all know he's not a puncher, but you got to admit he's got good boxing IQ and he's got a good plan while he's in there. You know what I'm saying? And it goes to same thing with Tio. Tio, he's got good footwork, although I don't like him. But you got to give credit where credit's due. You know what I'm saying? Those are two totally different styles of fighting. Then you bring in Isaac Pitbull Cruz, you bring in Tank, you bring in Subriel. All those fighters all have different styles of fighting, so you can't compare one boxer to the other. Mr. Miyagi, what's up?
Mr. Miyagi's here. Oh shit,
He,
I got my chat thing um blocked off.
hey yo, what Bang Bang talking about? He's saying something about a Bill Haney interview on Rap Star about 2 or 3 days ago. What happened there? Do you know anything about that?
I Oh, that's the interview. It's Rap Star. That's the interview where he was talking shit about the Latin people. That he was saying, "Fuck Latin man, they're ruining the sport." Teofimo, that he was trying to talk about Teofimo Lopez, and then he made it like
When
all
you say
Latin people.
Latin, when you say fuck Latin people, that's you're talking about every Latin culture.
No, no, and then he doubled down on it. No. You see, at first when he was talking, I was trying to be humble about it in my head. I was saying every time he's saying the word Latin and Latin people are bad for boxing, I'm saying, Edwin, he's talking about Teal. Only Teal, right? Then all of a sudden he just went off right off the diving board. He said, yeah, but fuck the Latin, but I like their women. Wait a minute. you're no longer talking about Teal then. You're talking about all of us.
Yeah, but it's okay for them to do it.
What was it called again?
Rap star, almost like world star, but rap
Yeah, like
star.
it was on some bull. I told you, it was on some like I never heard of this shit because I don't that. For all I know, Rap Star is like this big thing, and I'm like thinking he's a small fucking podcast. But since I never heard of him, I thought maybe he thought that it was small enough that it would only stay in the brothers circle or something. I don't know what he was thinking, but this is not a race thing, and I don't want to make it one. You know what I'm saying? Fuck that. Bill Haney, you want to get on your shit? Tio, you want to get on shit? That's you two. I respect all my friends, all people, all shades, walks of life. We don't have a problem. It only seems like you two assholes can't shut your fucking mouths, but you don't speak for the rest of us.
See, like this whole thing with Tio, right? When he said the shit about Puerto Ricans, did I feel a certain type of way? No. Here's why. Because he's never fought a Puerto Rican, so how can he say that Puerto Ricans are easy to beat?
Mhm.
That's number one. Number two, the one that he did spar against, Teal got knocked the fuck out, which was Jameson at the Boca Chica.
Mm.
Now, that being said, if Teal was to get in the ring and beat a Puerto Rican easy, like Subriel, because he was directing everything he was saying towards Subriel.
Yeah. Just like Devin Haney. I'm pretty sure there's millions of black folk out there that's saying, we don't know what the fuck Bill Haney is saying. We don't speak for us.
Right.
He does not speak for us. You know what I mean? So
Miyagi, the link should be in the chat, but if you came in, Edwin, drop the link for Mr. Miyagi
I
again.
got you. I got you.
Bang bang,
Mr.
hop on too,
Mr.
bro.
Miyagi's with the 10 pace.
But dude, I don't fall into none of that bullshit that be going on because everything nowadays, if you say something, everybody wants to run it with it as racist. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But you know what
I,
I'm
I
saying?
ignore that. I don't fall into the trap of racism or none of
Nah,
that shit.
nah, nah,
For
nah, nah.
what?
Nah. Look. I see what they doing. They want to play this game. Let them play it. That's on y'all. But I'll keep it funky. Teal did not speak for Latin men. He did not speak for us. He didn't even speak for his own country, whatever he is, right? Whatever he is, and
Honduran.
Honduras, whatever it is, I don't even know. But you know, and like I said, I don't believe that Bill speaks for all Afro Americans neither when he was saying these statements. You know what I'm saying?
But the
Uh,
difference between the statements is I get Tio was trying to hype up a fight, although I don't condone what he said. Because like I said, I did feel a certain type of way when he first said it, but then I analyzed it and I'm like, you know what? He's just talking to hype up a fight. But even what Bill Haney says, talk about all Latin country. You know what I'm saying? He's like all Latinos.
yeah, yeah,
You know what? At the end of the day, people just sensitive nowadays. That's what it is.
yeah, yeah. Well, like I said, like we're different. We're really different from the East Coast and West Coast. And if you've never traveled and actually got to witness it firsthand, or leave New York and go down to Florida. When I went down to Florida, what's up, Mr. Miyagi? I'm gonna get to you real quick. Let me just finish this sentence. I went to Florida. One of the funniest things I've ever encountered in my life. I was a young man. I was in my, I don't know, 18, whatever, 17, maybe a little younger. And I went out there and I was on a basketball court and I heard the guys swearing at each other. And in Boston, if you call me a bitch, there's nothing to talk about. That's the red light. Those are fighting words. Right then and there, we're fighting. So I heard the other dude call the dude bitch like 10 times.
Yeah, it's okay.
Everybody everybody laughed. Everybody laughed. Everybody was chilling until that dude said, "Use a fuck ninja." And when I heard that, it doesn't even sound cool. It doesn't even sound like you said, but everybody's scattered off the basketball court.
You gotta understand. Down here they talk different. Down here to be like fuck
Bro,
boy. You know
bro
what I'm saying? Fuck
yeah,
boy. Whatever.
I know what it is. I learned what it was, right? But when the dudes, if he would have said that to me, he'd have said, "You's a fuck boy." I'd be like, "Ah, bro, what the hell does that mean?" Right? That don't even sound gangster,
It
right?
don't.
Because I'm from the East Coast,
Right.
right? And these dudes is playing with the B word all day. You a B, you a B, you a B, and my
Yeah, up north
skin
you
is
can't play that shit.
my skin is crawling inside like I'm out of here, right? Because y'all just, but it's just different walks of life until you go to Chicago, until you go to California, that you realize why these people feel this certain way. We all don't have the same thinking
Mentality.
process of how we view situations, because what you view disrespectful, I might not see it that way. You understand? You know? And that's just the way it is.
Bang Bang
So
Boogie says Teal always got a fight lined up and always never fights nobody.
no one, you notice when Tio let me put the camera this way. You notice when Tio
Ain't he fighting Tank next supposedly August
oh
26th?
my god, listen. Whenever Tio is in some controversy or he's in some hot water, he always has a fight schedule with a big name. When he said that first racial shit, now he was going to fight Terrence Crawford. Then after that, he was going to fight Jerron Butanis. Then he said some other fucked up shit, and then he was going to fight Subir Matias. Then he said some more fucked up shit, and then he was going to go fight Devin Haney. And then, like, every single time Tio is in a bad situation, he comes out with a video like, look at me, look at me, look at me. I'm gonna fight this guy right here. It's just full of shit.
He had a
That's
PBC hat on.
that's a professional clout chaser if I've ever seen one. Mr. Miyagi, how you doing?
Mr. Miyagi.
How's it going? How's it going?
What's going on, Mr. Miyagi? Why have you traveled so far and wide to come on Round One Sports Talk? What is on your boxing mind? Let us know.
First of all, can you hear me all right? Because I'm in some
Yes.
hotel at the moment using phone Wi-Fi.
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you. I got you.
No, I'll just add it's just been a funny. It's been a funny weekend of boxing. That
Yeah.
Keyshawn Davis stuff. Oh my god! Do you know that I sent you the meme with Abdullah May?
You did. That was you?
How can I don't get you? It's almost like
Oh yeah.
boxing is designed to be satire.
Right.
Like the way, yeah, like where it's like, oh, are we gonna? I can't remember what the meme said.
Oh, I
But
got it right here.
Oh, you couldn't have set that. Keyshawn couldn't have made a worse mistake than missing those £4.
Right.
Like,
You're breaking up, Miyagi.
You're breaking up.
I can't remember what on it, but it's funny. Oh, because he's just Abdullah
Yeah.
Mason. Because
Oh.
now people
Oh
are.
no. Yeah.
It's my Wi-Fi.
I know. You're breaking up a little bit.
I'll jump back up on.
Okay, go ahead, brother. I'll see you in a second. Yeah, but yeah, that's exactly right. That is exactly right. Like Keyshawn Davis was winning in the argument on the stage, right? Uh when
He was
Keyshawn
going at
Davis
it.
was trying to chump Abdullah Mason. Yeah, I was watching something. My mind was skipping. When Keyshawn Davis was trying to punk Abdullah Mason, and Abdullah Mason stuttered, and the crowd went, "Oh!" Just that in that moment, all the headlines was Keyshawn Davis was pressing Abdullah Mason. When he fumbled the bag, all of a sudden, not even 24 hours went by, the headlines read the other way. Abdullah Mason was punking Keyshawn Davis, and Keyshawn Davis is scared.
Bro,
And
people don't realize the internet is undefeated.
yeah,
You ain't gonna win against the internet. But so yo, what you was talking? Because I was on, but I wasn't really like listening a lot. But what happened with De Los Santos? That he hasn't gotten paid yet?
yeah, he hasn't gotten paid. If anybody wants to go check out his interview, it's on Mill City. It got dropped today. It was like an hour ago before I went on, so there must be like 3 hours, 4 hours ago. De Los Santos is being interviewed by Mill City, and it was very, very, very fast in the stream. Somebody Mill City hinted to the fact, you must be out there chilling, living it up with all the bag you just got. De Los Santos said, I ain't got nothing yet. So and then the conversation goes on for 2 or 3 minutes, and he was asked again, and he said, yeah, we haven't been paid a penny for the Keyshawn Davis fight yet, and Sam Lukowicz is threatening to take legal action against, I guess, Top Rank and Bob Arum or whatever,
As he should.
because De Los Santos went back to Santo Domingo without a penny in his pocket. So this false narrative that he got paid handsomely for showing up as a professional and this, that, and the third. Well, De Los Santos wants to know, where's the check?
Hmm.
So, and that interview is, once again, is on Mill City today, and this is not coming out of his promoter's mouth. It's not coming from a third party. This is Edwin De Los Santos himself on an interview saying this to the world. So if I'm going to take anybody's word for it, I'm going to take his. De Los Santos says he ain't got paid. Shit, he ain't got paid. You know? How you doing, Miyagi? You worked out your Wi-Fi? Talk to me.
Yo, is it better now?
I got you, loud and clear.
Yeah, I've managed to. My phone was like losing signal then.
Mm.
Now, all I was saying is that I felt this weekend's just been a load of boxing satire.
Mm-hmm.
Like someone planned out the um, perfect skit with Keyshawn Davis as the butt of the joke.
Right.
Because I don't get how he pressed Abdullah Mason for no reason, trying to be like the tough guy when Abdullah. I don't understand fighters sometimes why you've got to have that sort of bravado when someone says, "Yeah, I'm looking to challenge you." Because I would take that as a compliment if that was me in that position. It's like, yeah, I am the guy that
Right.
you're aiming for. Like, why? And then he's got to press him. Then Keyshawn like felt the need to start pressing Abdullah there on the stage.
Okay.
And everyone was saying, Keyshawn basically punked him on the stage, and then it turns out Keyshawn misses weight. De Los Santos doesn't fight, so Keyshawn doesn't fight, and then Abdullah Mason takes the whole event.
Yeah. 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 You couldn't. Yeah.
You couldn't write
No.
it
No.
any better.
Right. 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 The other day I was on with Frontline and everybody else, and my depiction of how I see Keyshawn Davis, right, is he's a bank robber, right? He's in the bank. He's got the ski mask on. They just emptied out the vault, and he's running with the bag in his hand, and he can see the door and the getaway car is like right there. As he starts running down the stairs, he trips, and the bag rips open, and all the money spills out. Shh. When he lifts up his hand, all he has is an empty bag, and his partner's yelling, "Come on, the cops are coming!" He has to run into the car with no money. He fumbled the bag. Right, you could see the go with the line. It was right there. The car was there, and whoop! It was like, I haven't seen a biggest rise and fall in a 48-hour span than that fucking kid. 48 hours prior to that, he was getting the key to the city from the mayor. They were naming a weekend holiday in their city named the Davis holiday. They bro. the and then
That's crazy.
and then your night got over. It got sabotaged only to what you did, and the guy that you challenged on stage took the main event spotlight, and the people got to see him. And then really, did you really try bullying the good son? Like the Abdullah Mason is the definition of, like, religion, humble, respectful, but
A stand-up dude.
I will compete against you. I'm here. I'm just telling you, I'm here working my way up. His father raises him with morals, ethics, how to conduct yourself in front of people, but get your point across. Did you really try to bully him and then not make, oh my God, it just blew up in his face. It was like one of the worstest meltdowns, one of the quickest rises to fall I have seen in quite some time. It was just like one thing after another. Then the fight in the locker room, and
Yo,
then
yo,
and
Nando
then
wants to know if the Davis holiday is it going to be a paid holiday.
I'm not. I don't know. I don't know if any business is going to be conducted on that holiday. No businesses are going to be open on that holiday because there is no business done when it comes to the Davises. All right.
Oh,
So,
dear.
and then the worst thing on top of it all, that it really sank at the bottom of my heart, was the low class that you guys showed while having a baby in a stroller in a hallway on fight night. An infant, not a kid that can walk, an infant. And they showed you running back from the scene to go back where you parked the baby carriage, and the baby happened to be inside of it. You can't make this shit up, bro. You
Yeah,
can't
that
make
was
this shit
wild.
up.
That is crazy.
Bro, oh my God, man. Like, are you serious, Keyshawn? Like, dude, you did so many things wrong. And then you didn't even take down yourself. You took your brothers with you and the reputation of Norfolk, Virginia. You got that city looking like, and they gave you the key to the city? Get the. I have never in my life can remember such a 48-hour downfall.
It's bad business.
Talk about self-sabotage at its highest level. Bro, sometimes I self-sabotage when things are going right, but that's a meltdown. Yo, that is on a level, bro. I would want to crawl in a hole and just cry, bro. The embarrassment that I must have gave to my mother after I had my mama finally saying, "Oh my God, my son, I didn't think you was gonna amount to nothing. Then you got the mayor giving us the key to the city, son. You did this." You know how many times she probably hugged that man and kissed him? I can't believe, Keyshawn, you did this for us. You even got our other brothers leaving the street, getting into the gym. Keyshawn, look what you do. And now what you think that lady feel like? The hurt and the pain that lady feels, that shit would have crushed me. That would have, just watching a tear fall out of my mother's eyes, that would have crushed me. I would have felt such guilt and embarrassment. Like, and you think okay, Keyshawn fucked up, big deal. No. This is the second, third, fourth time he fucked up. Remember, he got caught for weed and got a fight, no contest. So that doesn't count on your record. Then you had another fight scheduled to put money in your pocket, and you got popped for weed again. And they canceled that fight. So is this a recording pattern that we were choosing to ignore his behavior? Did we just create a monster? And that's what we need to be asking ourselves too. Because he didn't get here by himself. He didn't get handed that key to city by himself. He didn't get all these clicks, views, and likes by himself.
Yo, and to be honest, don't you?
Bro.
I thought you're not called a champion until you defend it one time.
No.
What's
Okay.
that saying? How's that saying go?
No. Okay. That's an unwritten rule amongst champions that you are not considered a champion until you defend the belt where you complete the ceremony as both sides of the champion. Meaning, it's cool that you won the belt. You did one. You completed one side. Now beat somebody and defend that belt. You're an official champions among champion. The reality is, the minute you won that belt, you're a champion. That's the truth on paper. That's just it is. But it's an unwritten rule between us. Like in champions in locker rooms, when a champion tries to come in with his belt and he goes out there like a Keyshawn Davis and loses it on a scale and tries to walk around in a circle with champions and say, yeah, I'm a champion too. And we're looking at him like, I got 10 title defenses. He's unified. He's undisputed. And you got stripped and vacated? Take your punk ass out of here. Get your fake champion ass out of here. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, they want you to earn that right. They want you to, you know what I'm saying? Like, prove that it wasn't just a fluke on one night you happened to win that belt. Because, see, Conceição beat Foster in the first fight, and we all know that was bullshit. But the one thing Conceição couldn't do was beat Foster the second time to solidify that championship. You see what I'm saying? Because we know
the second fight was closer.
Right, because we know maybe someone could have bought you that first fight. Or you could have got a gash on the top of your forehead, Tim Tszyu, Sebastian Fundora. So we want to see, can you defend it? And that's where the question lies. Was it a fluke or are you a real champion? You defend it, you're a real champion, puppy. And that's how that goes, man. But that's an unwritten rule among champions. That's not technically. So I just want to keep that out there, you know.
I just thought of something. You know, on the weigh-in, when Keyshawn came in overweight and they did the face-off, did either of you see Samson Lukowicz go to hug Keyshawn and he slapped him away?
Nah.
I'll go and watch it on Top Rank for the weigh-in.
Oh, he thought it was Edwin?
No. Samson went to go and shake Keyshawn's hand, bear in mind after he missed weight, and then he shook his hand, and then he went to go and hug him, and Keyshawn smacked his hand away. Like saying, get off me. But this just went through my head then when we're talking about the money. I could just imagine Samson just saying, my many millions. I could see it.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Because he knew what was happening. He saw that £4, and as soon as they came out, he was straight to De Los Santos, talking in his ear with all of his like managers and that.
Yeah, you know, and like that. Edwin De Los Santos talked about that in that interview in Mill Cities. He said, what Keyshawn Davis was banking on. That I said I couldn't say no to the money. He had no intentions on fighting me at 135. What his intentions were to get me to agree to the money so that he could be the much stronger, the much bigger man and come into the fight. And Edwin De Los Santos talked about that. And I think Sam Lukowicz, look, somebody owes you something for making the fight and making weight. It's not like Edwin De Los Santos came to the fight and didn't fulfill his side of the bargain. He did. This is all you're doing. So somebody owes me something for something. Whether I get another shot at a title, a payday, and a payday, either way, they should show Edwin some kind of hospitality because, you know, I remind everybody once again, how did we get here? This is the true definition of when a cherry pick gone wrong. Keyshawn Davis was the new champion. They asked him, you pick who you want to fight. Pick who you want to fight. Call him up, see if he'll take the fight, and the WBO will sign off on it. Keyshawn Davis went like this. Edwin De Los, 2 years inactivity. He fought Shakur. This is my time to prove myself. That's who I want to fight. He could have fought anybody he wanted. And when they're talking about Edwin De Los Santos didn't deserve this title fight, I don't give a fuck what was rightfully so. You better take that up with Keyshawn Davis that picked him. This was a cherry pick gone wrong. And when they found out that Cherry could fight, and it was fighting back, they got scared. And now you want to come in at 140 pounds, sacrifice the belt for the win that you thought you were going to back him in a corner because he couldn't say no to the money. But Edwin De Los Santos left you, Keyshawn, in your shit.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't De Los Santos negotiate after the money that he agreed to? He told him, yo, at least try to come down 1 or 2 more pounds or something like that.
Okay. What De Los Santos said in his interview was, he said, okay, so what was the problem? De Los Santos said, we wanted X, Y, and Z amount of money per pound out of his purse, which was, okay, all right. And what else did you want? De Los Santos said, I wanted this much money to take the fight. I'll take this fight, but you need to pay me this much money. Keyshawn Davis's team said no. They passed the ball back and forth to each other in the back room. And Keyshawn said, okay, I came in overweight. We're going to pay you this much for every pound. Do you want to take the fight? We can still continue. You still have an opportunity to win the WBO. Edwin De Los Santos' team came back and said, no, we want this much per pound, and we want this much to take the fight. Passed it back. And then Keyshawn looked at it and said, no. Then he said, then we're going home. And that was it. And Keyshawn was left there like, no, wait. What do you mean you're going to leave? He goes, yeah, I'm not desperate. You're not going to knock me out and use me as a catapult to your next weight division, because if you don't have no fight now, the fans have no fight. They're going to want their money back. And you're going to have to announce you're not going to be fighting when you invited all these people out here. You don't want to pay me what I'm worth? Bye. And Keyshawn couldn't believe it. He thought he had him in checkmate, but Keyshawn, he doesn't have the art of war. He didn't see every angle, and he got sideblind. That's exactly what happened.
Hey, Edwin, did you see who Nick Bull's fighting?
He's gonna try to fight Luis Pantera Nari.
No. That's what I was hoping. Guess who's got the fight? Mr. I Split himself.
It's not Sam Goodman.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, would you tell your boy he's not gonna show up to the fight? He's gonna split his left eye. He's gonna walk into the door 10 days before the fight. Oh, look, tell Nick Ball I got another cut right next to the Naoya Inoue cut.
Wait, when there was the rumors about Nick Ball fighting Luis Neri, I was actually genuinely excited for that fight because that was going to be in UK. I would have got oh, we got a ticket for that fight. We've gone and watched it live. But because Frank Warren was saying, oh, yeah, we're going to have a big fight. And I thought, okay, so what? Are we getting a former champion or something? 126. Yeah. And when they said Luis Neri in the rumors, I was like, makes sense. He's already had 1 or 2 fights at featherweight. And that would be a good comparison between him and Inoue, because they're both orthodox. Obviously, they'll be fighting southpaw, and it'll be good to see how Neri fares against Nick Ball and vice versa. But then it turns out it's Sam Goodman, and now I'm like,
it seems like he wants to fight. It seems like Nick Ball is preparing himself for something. He's only fighting guys that have experience against Naoya Inoue, so that he can get a measuring stick and see how he fares against the guys that Naoya Inoue fared against. I guess in his mind, he thinks that if he can beat these guys faster than Naoya Inoue or in a better fashion, that it would give him that sense of confidence he's looking for. Because, sometimes you hear about some dude or whatever, and they're like, man, this fucking guy doesn't shave with razors. He eats them, and then he shits out steel. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're always fucking gassing these dudes up, them bigger than what they, and then when you see, you don't think much of them. But Naoya Inoue is an anomaly. He has a big reputation, but when you see him, he doesn't look like nothing. But when you get in the ring, he turns into a monster. So he kind of changes on you, right? And it's like, I know that's what he's looking for. He's looking for a measuring stick. That's all. Nick Ball should have.
They should have just gone with Luis Neri, because he's already in the division. I don't know why Frank Warren would pick Sam Goodman, because Sam Goodman hasn't fought in a way. And
I know why he would. I know exactly why Warren would go with Sam Goodman.
Yeah. He doesn't want Nick Ball getting knocked out.
Luis Pantera got power. He's got a lot of power. He's got just as much power as Nick Ball. He's a real knockout puncher. But Sam Goodman's not. The threat of a power puncher is not. You just got to deal with his skill. You know what I'm saying? But Sam Goodman does not have Luis Pantera power. Luis Pantera Nari putting Inoue down. And Luis Pantera put a lot of people he fought against down. So, a much bigger version of Luis Pantera Nari with Nick Ball, kind of rock'em sock'em robot kind of fight. Who catches who first? Because both of them, Nick Ball can put out Luis Pantera's lights out, and vice versa. Both their styles, they're hookers, lunging fighters. They both lunge. They both like to live on the inside. They're both short. It's just a much dangerous fight than this fucking Sam Goodman guy. I think Nick Ball wipes down undefeated Sam Goodman, because the only reason why Sam Goodman's undefeated is because he fought the gas attendant, the guy that worked at McDonald's, and fucking the mailman. You know what I'm saying? So don't give me I think Nick Ball will run him over, but I don't think he'll run over Luis Pantera, not that Mexican kid. Nah, I don't see. I gotta see that to believe it. I think he could beat Luis Pantera Nari, but I think it'll be a tougher fight than fucking Sam Goodman.
I give Sam Goodman some credit, mainly for when he fought Reyes Salim, because Reyes was very, very aggressive, lots of volume, and the thing is, Sam Goodman's boxing style is very reminiscent of I'm trying to think, like a sort of Soviet style, sort of like how Bivol throws his arms, they're always out to the side.
Okay, I can see, and it's a little off from Liam Parles and Tim Zeus, right?
He's always he never goes into a high guard. Sam Goodman, he's always kind of wide, but he parries a lot of shots. Yeah. So again, the same way that Dmitry Bivol does.
Right.
But Sam Goodman, he is a really good manager of distance in the fight. He's always right there, constantly touching you, even though he doesn't have a lot of pop. I do think, from watching his fights, I do think he's actually really strong, like physically strong. He doesn't punch hard, but he's physically very strong.
Right.
And
I
I
get what
would
you're saying.
actually, I would put money on Sam Goodman outpointing Nick Ball.
Oh, that's where the part that I said I don't fear him for his punching power. All you would have to deal with is Sam Goodman is his skill. That's the part that I said that you would have to just deal with his skill because the man got skills. I said as dangerous fights, Lewis is a bigger puncher, just like Nick Ball's a pretty big puncher, but didn't diminish what I felt about Sam Goodman's skill overall as his form and the way boxing's laid out. He boxes like he thinks you're watching him, so he has to be perfect. He kind of boxes like Sam
Well,
Goodman.
if I had an idea of a boxer, if I never knew what boxing was, I just knew it was kind of, how you throw punches. When I look at Sam Goodman, that image in my head is probably some of the earliest images when I think of boxers.
Right.
That and the old school, where there's like the
Right. I
fisticuffs
get
where they have
exactly
them in
what you're
front of their
saying.
face.
Yeah,
That's
and I'm in
literally
agreement.
what it reminds me of.
Right. If he just had a little bit of that snap, you know what I mean? I think Sam Goodman would probably be dangerous. Hold on, we got somebody. Oh, Hugo.
Yo, what up,
Hugo.
Ron?
What's up,
Yes,
Hugo?
sir. Mic check,
What do
mic
you
check.
do? Mike check, you sounding good. How you doing,
Cool,
brother?
cool. Good, my brother. Here on a quick 15-minute break, but wanna talk some boxing, man. What's up? Sorry to just butt in like this. I don't want to interrupt your guys' conversation.
So what do you got to use? You said you only got a few minutes. Let out what you got real quick. What's on your mind? What's the most top thing on boxing right now that's you feel like you have to say something? Is it the Keyshawn situation? Is it Terrence? Is it the New York card? Is it the fights
Yeah, it's the
coming
New
up?
York card. It's the New York card, man. I was seeing some video about Hitchison, man. He's trying to sell the fight real good, bro. But at the end of the day, I've never seen him go in there do the shit that he's saying. Supposedly, quote unquote, leave it all in the ring, man. What do you guys think about that? You guys think we'll actually get him in there fighting this time or no?
Well, I can't say he didn't really he didn't fight against Liam Paro. He boxed a little. He had to push Liam Paro back, and he did so when Liam Paro was winning the first half of the fight. So he showed that he could make adjustments. I got to give that to Richard Hitchison because Liam Paro kept doing the same shit. And I don't know, he just didn't look like when he looked like against Subiel. It kind of brings back the point where Frontline says these guys are not the same after they fucking fight them. But if I was Richard Hitchison and I wanted to build up a freaking fight here, right? I would talk shit to the smaller guy coming up. That's when I would be the
man.
most boisterous. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't talk. He doesn't talk shit to guys that are on his level.
Sure. He's like that little guy in high school but it's tough, man. That's beating up on some smaller kids, but now that he wants to go at it with you, you're like, oh hell yeah, beating this whoop will make me popular.
Right.
Beating this whoop is a good name, but I mean, yeah, Cambosos also is coming up a win, a tune-up, but also, man, he got stopped by Lomachenko. So we'll see if he's still kind of like feeling the effects from that, because that was a pretty nasty stoppage right there. His corner had to stop him with a body shot. You remember that fight?
Yes, I remember his last 6 fights. I think he's 2-4. George Camboza.
Yeah, for real, man.
He won that fight against Maxie Hughes. I think it was right, and then which I think he lost. And he got that IBO title. Then he got his ass whooped by Loma. Yeah. Then he went to fucking to
he had that tune-up fight. his first fight with Matchroom, the Homecoming. He had a late replacement for that fight though, so he went the distance for that fight. It was
Yeah, but he
kind of
went late.
yeah,
He went late. He went late replacement with the Boy Scout leader.
exactly. Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
like
yeah.
who the
You're
fuck
right.
was
You're
that
right.
guy?
I don't know, man. They just picked him up from a local gym, but
Yeah.
yeah. I remember that fight, man. I set up for that fight actually. That fight started at 1 a.m. over here, so I was like, fuck, I gotta stay up for this fight. I gotta wake up early, so that was a cool little card right there. That was when Sierra Brown beat Sky.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
Sky Nichols.
man.
Now,
man.
you went 10 rounds or whatever the distance with a guy they pulled out of some fucking gym. And you mean
Yeah.
to tell me that this is the guy they brought up to fight who? In a bigger weight division, a bigger man. Did you see Richard Hitchison and George Camboza stand side by side? I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah. For real, that's what I'm saying.
Yo,
I mean,
if-
but
if-
this is not.
If the boxing gods can hear me right now, my hands are together. I'm actually praying.
Yeah.
I wish George Camboza knocks this motherfucker out.
Or at least get the upset because remember that upset. I mean, that's what kind of put him up to like the caliber he is right now. You know, the major upset when he beat Teal in Madison Square Garden. I don't know, the little room, I guess, or whatever you guys call it down there. I'm not too familiar with it.
Yeah.
But
The Hulu Theater.
the Hulu Theater. Now, my Boricua brothers, is that the same as MSG or like I'm confused because I'm from Cali, so
No, there's the Hulu Theater, there's the Barclays Center, and then there's the big boys. You know what I'm saying? Where the
So
Huh?
the Hulu Center, the Hulu, from my understanding, the Hulu Theater is inside the Madison Square Garden. It's just
Right.
like a separate area
Okay.
to hold that holds smaller events.
Okay, and then the Barclay is where the Knicks play, where Tank sells out all the time, right?
No, the Barclays in Brooklyn. That's where
Oh.
the Brooklyn Nets play. The Knicks play in Madison Square Garden.
Oh damn! You guys got two teams over there. All right, but yeah, back to the boxing. I think that's what George Cambosa's like, pretty much like skyrocketed. Of course, obviously he pretty much like lost his belts versus Devin Haney, which I don't understand why he even took that fight. I understand it. It was because Devin Haney had the original. He had like
WBC.
the full. Yeah. See, that was a little confusing too because that was around the time where I was kind of semi-new to boxing, which I still am. But man, if he would have just like done his research on Devin Haney on how much he just blows up, like
Yo, Hugo,
like,
breathe, Papa, breathe. You got time here.
Hey man, I'm a blue collar man, so I gotta go to work in 10 minutes. But anyways, man, on some upsetting
Hey,
news for
you said
me.
you said you're in LA, right, Hugo?
Yes, sir.
Yo, is it going crazy? Is it what we see on TV? The riots are going
Yeah,
crazy
man.
over there?
Yeah, man, it's tough. Luckily, I work over here at LAX, so you don't have like the protesting over here, and I live southeast of Los Angeles, maybe about 15 miles. But yeah, man, it's tough. It's tough,
Wow.
man, and yeah, but like that's some politics shit right there. It's just nasty. It's just nasty. The videos that are surfacing, you know, with ICE picking up other people outside Home Depot. But back to the boxing.
Yo,
Tito Mercado,
let me share this right here with you, and I just want to be perfectly clear, just in case
Yeah.
anybody thinks that I just either hate fucking Richard Hitchison or something. And I'm only going against Richard Hitchison in this particular fight because I'm against the cherry picking, and I love when the
Exactly.
cherry picking going wrong.
Yeah,
I
thank you for
love it.
bringing that up, man. Isn't this for the IBS?
Yes.
So what happened with the mandatories? Because I know damn well George Cambosa is not mandatory.
Excuse me. Wait. Sorry, let me take a sip of water.
Damn, the Hardin.
That's that devil's lettuce kicking in. But listen to me, guys. What happened was Subriel Matias fought a title eliminated for the IBF. He became the mandatory to Richard Hitchison. But because Richard Hitchison beat Liam Paro, they awarded Richard Hitchison a voluntary match before he has to take his mandatory match. So since he was a newly acquired champion, he got to pick a guy in the top 15 ranking. In order to pull this off, they had to give George Camboza a top 15 ranking. The way he went to pull this off, Ed Hearn went to the IBF and said, George Camboza has competed for your title against Lomachenko for the vacant belt. So he stepped up in that night. And he was another IBF champion when he beat Teofimo Lopez. So George Camboza himself has ties with the IBF organization. Ed Hearn must have gave him a little envelope. I'm not saying that. Let me retract that. I don't know if he ever did that. That's just me talking shit. Or he begged them, and they slid George Camboza to the number 3 spot so that way they can justify this fight. But if he loses this fight, George Camboza, the mandatory would have been Subriel, but this is how they're going to bypass Subriel. So what Ed Hearn also did was just to take no chances at all. Ed Hearn fucked around with Subriel, and he acted like he was doing Subriel a favor. He went and got the WBC to give Subriel a fight. So if Subriel wins that fight against Alberto Puello, guess what happens to his IBF ranking? Mandatory spot. It disappears.
Yeah.
It disappears.
Or does he drop?
No, it disappears because no champion can be in the ranking.
You got in another weight class? I mean, in another sanctioning body?
Right. You can't be right. So now Subriel's obligations are only to the WBC ranking.
Yeah, that makes sense. That was what I was going to ask you too, because since Subriel is going the WBC route, that literally drops him from the IBF. So,
right.
Okay, so then if Richardson Hitchens wins against George Cambosos, then it'll just like move up the line, and whoever is first would be the mandatory, which I don't know who that is at the top of my head right now.
And then Richard Hitchison can live in the 140-pound weight division. The only man that was pushing him out of the weight division was Subriel Matias, the one he was avoiding.
And whatever happened with that? Because I know that Subriel was had an interview with on TBV. Did he ever explain the situation on? Did he get dropped from Matchroom after the L, or like what? Or like did he leave voluntary?
No, I talked to Subriel myself personally about that.
What happened?
No, it was just they had that one fight deal.
Oh, it was only one fight deal?
That was it. They had that one fight deal thing, and he was in co-promotion with Fresh Production. And they worked together to get Subriel that fight. When Subriel lost his belt, Ed Hearn was like, if you want to wait around for me to get you another fight, you can. But if you don't want to wait for me, you're free to put up your own fights. So Subriel said, okay, I'm going to stay active. I'm going to get my own fights with my small promotional company over here. We're going to do our thing and put ourselves in line. And lo and behold, Subriel stood true to his word. He said, I'm going to keep fighting. Whoever they put in front of me, I'm going to beat them. They put the guys in front of him. He beat them. He became the number 1 mandatory. And now another opportunity to fight for a different organization occurred. But I'm starting to see through all these stuffs, and it's just like Ed Hearn is protecting his guy.
Yeah, because when he said that there was a new signee, Matias, people, well, me myself, I was like, oh well, I mean, he probably has like a 2-3 fight deal with Matchroom, and as soon as he takes an L in his hometown, it just makes it seem like Matchroom's kicked him to the curb, because they're like, damn man, you made us spend all this money, come over here homecoming just for you to take an L. You're out of here, brother.
Yeah, well, that's how shit happens, man. But that's the boxing world, my man. And thanks for calling in and sharing your insight on these fights. I always
How's
like to
the
talk
how's the
boxing.
fight card? How's the fight card looking? Because I know Tito is out, right?
Where,
Tito
where,
Mercado. Tito Mercado.
oh,
He's out the fight card because he got injured. So that's
yeah,
one person I was looking forward to seeing. Now, who do you got? You got Andy Cruz with the IBF title eliminator.
No, he
well,
got elevated.
no, Morataya got elevated.
Morataya got elevated. Andy Cruz is quote unquote, if he wins, supposed to be the next one up, right? At 135.
Right. They're putting Andy Cruz and the other guy to fight for the
So
whoever wins. But
yeah.
since things have changed, or Andy Cruz, I guess potentially can fight the winner out of Shakur Stevenson and William
William
Cepeda.
Cepeda. Yep.
Oh,
Yeah,
is Andy Cruz top 5 in the WBC rankings too?
he's
He's
number
number
one.
one.
How if he only has 4 fights?
Listen, my man. Listen, politics are crazy because I believe the only reason why Andy Cruz got moved up in the first place because he beat the shit out of Keyshawn in the amateurs 4 times, and they were trying to
Wow, that is
build.
crazy.
They were trying to build the momentum in the event by bringing Andy Cruz along fairly fast because they were assuming that Keyshawn was going to still be there and that was going to be a big fight. But I guess the businessman had other business plans.
Yeah. That's like last thing before I hop off. That's like Hamza Shiraz and Edgar Berlanga fighting for the WBC title eliminator, and next week actually is Christian and Billy versus the other guy fighting for the interim title, or it's funny the other way around. So I mean, it's like you have an interim title challenger, and then you have a title final eliminator. Like who cuts the line? You get me?
Same
You
shit I
get
said
me?
about Sabria Matias' situation when they were given 2
Yeah.
other, remember, Frontline?
Yep.
and I was just like, boxing makes a lot of promises to these guys. And, boxing can take a turn. Sabriel did finally get himself in the mandatory, but that's not the belt he's fighting for now, is it? It's the
All
WBC
right, my
now,
brothers.
so.
Good boxing talk. Let's see if you guys
Absolutely.
are up later. Probably hop on a little bit.
All right, Hugo.
All right,
Take
Hugo.
care, brother. Enjoy your day at work, bro. Have a
too,
good
brother.
day.
You too, sir.
Man, I tell you, man, a lot of
Hugo
these
got that
situations.
energy, huh?
Oh man, he was all amped up. He had a lot to say. Yo, Mr. Miyagi, you still with us?
Yeah. I was just listening.
Yeah.
When Frontline said breathe, it just made me.
Yeah. He was like, yeah, but yeah, I love his energy, man, and his enthusiasm
He's
of
real
the
passionate.
sport.
I like
Yeah,
it.
he wants to know, and that's at least he asks the questions and he just doesn't assume. We're all here to like get to the
Ooh.
bottom of some of these things, and sometimes, even I have the tendency of sometimes falling in that trap where I assume things
Yo,
until
put up that last comment, Edwin. Pull it up.
what's up,
That's a good
Matias?
thought.
With
That's a very good thought.
what's going on here? Let's see it. Read it off for me. Let me light my shit.
Matias without rehydration clause might be a more dangerous Matias. I never even thought about that. But we know Matias is disciplined, so he's not really gonna blow up like that. But dude, if he does blow up, who knows?
Matias, he's not a real like a real frame, big size guy type shit like that, right? But the one thing with Matias is that without the weight claw, I think he's gonna be that much stronger, that much bigger. Without that second weight claw in the morning, restricting you from going past 10 pounds, that'll be good. That'll be good because Alberto Puello, in his own right, is pretty good sized guy. So that's gonna be interesting to see. Yeah, but I really think that in this fight, man, um, if the fight goes into the later rounds, I favor Sabrina Matias. I seen Puello in between like rounds have to take breaks. He took a break in the Sandor Martin fight. He also took a break in the Gary Antoine Russell fight, where that in a round he kind of takes the round off,
He
and
can't do
stuff.
that with Matias.
I don't think he can. I think Matias's pressure is just so relentless. It's round by fucking round and shit. And the only person I saw that, with all the distractions in Puerto Rico leading into the fight and some of the things we know behind the scenes as Puerto Ricans, we still don't talk about because we're gonna give that to Subriel. But we actually know that there were a lot of outside sources with that fight with Paro. A lot of things went wrong. A lot of things went right for Paro. He got away with a lot of things. And I make no excuses. I say that Subriel lost the fight. He lost it. Fine. Right? Okay. But you're talking about the real Subriel, the focused Subriel, the Subriel that became world champion, that dangerous guy right there against Alberto Puello. I gotta see that to believe it. I gotta see if Alberto Puello can move all night, stick and move, stick and move, stick and move all night, and that Subriel doesn't catch up at him at all. Like he just dances around Subriel. I gotta see that shit. The way these guys are talking this guy up from Santo Domingo, I'm just sitting there and I'm saying, yeah, I acknowledge he's good, but uh, I
That
don't know.
goes that goes back to my statement. We know everybody keeps saying, "Oh, Gary Antoine Russell, his pressure, his pressure." Bobby Subriel's pressure is totally
It's
different than
different. Yeah,
any
it's
other
different.
boxer.
Yeah, it's different.
Because whether he's throwing punches or not, he's still in your face the whole fight. That's
Hmm.
what people fail to realize.
And a lot of people don't. They fail to take in consideration a lot of the other kind of damage you can take in the fight. Meaning, they really don't talk about the damage that people take to their shoulders, their arms. When Sobriel is punching your shoulders and your arms and your forearms and you're blocking those shots, that shit hurts. And pretty soon, if you take enough arm shots, enough shoulder shots, all of a sudden you got a Charlie horse in your shoulder and you can't even fucking throw your jab. Your body's starting, and this guy just keeps punching you in your arms. It's a tactic that they use to break down their fighters, to have them lower their guard. It's a process that gets carried out round by round. And I can't ignore that. So Biel does have that ability. And I also can't ignore that Alberto Puello got the skills to nullify it. But what we fail sometimes, and myself, to realize is some men are stronger than others. Just because you can break through this guy's guard doesn't mean you could break through his guard. Just
Right.
because you could take his punch doesn't mean you could take his. And for how long? You know what I mean? There's just different things, man. So that's a big fight. It's gonna be a big New York card, definitely. But Richard Hitchison and this George Camboza fight's on my birthday. You know what I mean? So
Oh shit.
yeah, it's on my birthday. So June 14th. So I want to watch it. I'm gonna watch this fight and see what happens. But you know,
Who you
you
got in
know
that fight?
who? Oh,
Cambosa's
Richard
and
Hitchison.
you got Hitchens.
Yeah. I wishful thinking. I wish the little guy can pull one us off for us. I sure do wish that George Camboza can pull this shit off, bro. Because I hate when these motherfuckers want to cherry pick and talk like down at the guy when we all know why you picked them. We all know what the fuck in this fight about, but now you got to add an extra layer of tough guy on it. Now you got to be, and that's what fucking like eats at me. Like, bro, you're not fighting who you should be fighting, bro, but you're talking like you are, bro, and that gets under my skin. When I was a kid in school, and it wouldn't even be my fight. I should just mind my business. But sometimes I wish I told you I did. why are you picking on him, bro? That dude ain't gonna fight you back, bro. And I'm just waiting for him to make a mistake. If I could just fucking run my fist right through his head, you know. But
Stock Chaser, what's up, man?
I never liked the bullies like that. I didn't like it. And then boxing cherry picking is my form of bullying. You're picking a guy because blatantly you know you can beat him. But when it goes wrong, oh, it's amazing. It's I live for shit like that. It is amazing when the cherry picker fights back.
Yo, you go Friday. You going to Philly Friday?
Huh?
You going to Philly Friday?
Why? Why are you asking me that?
There's a card in Philly.
Oh, no, not going to Philly. I'm not going to that card.
That's
I'm not going.
Cruz versus Chavez. We got Keith Colon fighting on that card.
Yeah, I know. But if I got any fucking chance of putting together this New York card and popping in over there, I might want to start saving up some money for a card that I really wanted to go to. So I just might pop in on that New York card down there. You know, so if I was
Which one, the Amanda Serrano or the Figueroa card?
You really gonna ask me that question? Now I'm going there for the Amanda Serrano card, dog. Yeah, man. I want to see an all-women card. That's I live for that shit.
Yo, did you see Shiraz training? Did you see Shiraz training?
No, tampoco.
Oh my god.
I've been busy. I've been busy this whole week, man, with family shit, the tub, my earring. You know, it was raining in my house, bro. So stop it. All right. I've been kind of busy, bro. I've had a long one. So anyway, listen, I'm gonna cut this short right here too, guys. Mr. Miyagi, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for the donations. Thank you for all the members to the Round One Sports Talk. I want to thank all the members too. Send a shout out to you guys. And Frontline, thank you for tuning in. But I'm hungry right now. I gotta use the bathroom too. So that's a bit much information. But anyway, listen, fight fans, I love you guys. Huh?
Just don't let it start raining in the kitchen.
Nah. Hey, yo, I fixed it.
That shit holding up?
Showers. Yeah, we all took showers. Not a drop came down. So I'm happy with that.
At least. Now.
Huh?
Round One plumbing now, huh?
If you need, you might as well call me, bro. And if you need a floor done, you know? Yo, you guys are the shit. Listen, love yourselves. Love you guys. And I'm on to the next one. Peace. Peace, gentlemen.